Testing 1, 2, and 3. How are we sounding? Alrighty. Testing 1, 2, and 3. How are we sounding? Sounds pretty good so far. He beat you to it. Alright, let me just get some things set up here and we'll be good to go. And if you want to join me in flying today, we're going to be at First Flight in North Carolina at Kill Devil Hills. Link. All right. I'm just trying to figure out what else I need to get set up here. Oh, whoops. Don't want to minimize that. Alright. I think we'll just wait for a few people here. Hopefully, we get more than last time. I let people know way in advance. Hopefully that helps. I just gotta think of what I'm doing. Oh. Nice. Oh, I could go for some pizza. Oh, that's right. I want to set like maybe a group or something. Yeah, I think it's good right there. And let me see if there's anybody in the flight lounge. Nope, no one in here. I'm gonna disconnect there. Yeah, might as well get the flight ready so we're not sitting here waiting for a load screen. I'm gonna stick with the Cessna 152 today. My 172 is in Kingston, I think. Oh, Mount St. Helens. Nice. I'm surprised it's this light out over in North Carolina at the moment. Is it really like that? Oh, well there we go. That's a little more accurate. But we're gonna make it daytime. Just because we can. Oh yeah, 152 flies amazing in this game. I just wish I had more of a checklist. This would be a fun plane to own. Oh man, look at those clouds. I wonder if that's what it's really like there right now. I hope people come. I want people to come. I want to fly with people, man. Well, I guess we might as well get going. Alrighty. Is there much of a checklist in this before starting an engine? Nah, not really. Oh, there is. Okay. Yeah, hopefully I can fly this plane one day. That would be fun. But the 172 is a little bit better, mainly because it's faster. But this is a great training aircraft. Alright, mixture rich. Wait. They gotta fix that with the mixture control. Even when I'm putting it at half, it goes to cutoff. They gotta fix that. You know what? Maybe I might have dead zones. That could be why, actually. Let me look at that. Yeah, it's tough, man. Getting an audience is a very tough thing. Oh, here we go, sensitivity. No, it works fine. No dead zones or anything. I think it's just the plane. Alright. Mixture rich. Throw it a half. Master switch. And ignition start. Simple as that. Did I miss something? I think I'm missing some here. Carburetor heat. It's cold. Good. Oh, prime. I didn't prime it. Okay, this thing doesn't want to start. Something interesting I might find? Lay it on me. Oh, hang on. Maybe it... That might be why. There we go. Shut-off valve wasn't on. Oh, really? Not in this one. Maybe it doesn't show it. Yeah, it's gotta be a bug. I'm sure they'll fix it. Oil pressure. Oil pressure looks good. Alright. Let's see. Beacon landing. Oh, okay, in the form, yeah. I had a feeling that might have been a bug. Okay, good. 50 knots? Okay, 50 knots to takeoff speed. Good to know. This game has some weird bugs, man. Yeah, let's go straight out. Get out of here.
Ground Cessna November 1787 Romeo Echo request taxi for takeoff straight on departure.
Cessna November 1787 Romeo Echo taxi to and hold short of runway 2 via taxiway. Contact tower on ONE 22.9 when ready.
Oh yeah, man. It's the only way to do it. I do have to upgrade them now. I've had
Taxiing
these
hold
things
short
since I was a
runway
teenager.
2ONE via
And
taxiway
they're still
Cessna 7
working.
Romeo Echo.
But I gotta upgrade at some point. Turn it to one a little bit. Yeah, there's a lot of good brands out there, I'm sure you can find. But I won't lie, it does take time getting used to. When I first tried it, when I got them over a decade ago, oh my goodness, it felt so weird. But eventually you get so used to it, you don't even think of it anymore. Oh, that sucks. I mean, I'm sure there's probably got to be a way you can turn that off. That's awesome. Oh, this is where you gotta turn off. Oh, I can't wait to see what the rudder pedals look like. I didn't even know they were making them. Eventually I will upgrade. Yeah, clearance.
Tower Cessna November 1787 Romeo Echo ready at runway 2ONE straight on departure.
The heck is with the audio?
Cessna November 1787 Romeo Echo cleared for takeoff runway 2ONE departing straight out approved.
Cleared for takeoff runway 2ONE Cessna 7 Romeo Echo.
Flaps. Quite the investment, but it's worth it in the end. Getting this flight gear is not cheap. But if you want to be serious about piloting, then what you get. Oh, that's insane. You're gonna actually go above beyond. Wow, that's good to know that they're doing that. Flight simulation is only gonna get better, man. Go fly toward the beach. Just gonna have fun flying today, not gonna really worry too much about the rules. If I ever want to own a plane, I think this would be the one. That or some kind of sports plane. I don't know if this is classified as a sports plane. Flying ain't cheap, man. It ain't cheap in real life. It ain't cheap in the virtual world either. Well, unless you get like a joystick. But who wants that? I want to get the most authentic experience possible. Or at least it's somewhat authentic. If I want to get the most authentic, then it'd be spending thousands. Nice view here. Actually, I think I know what you're talking about. I think they make a really authentic yoke, like Cessna yoke.
Cessna 7 Romeo Echo, you are leaving my airspace.
They're like
Frequency change
crazy
approved.
expensive.
Tower Cessna November 1787 Romeo Echo frequency change.
Just gonna fly low today, 1,000 feet. Wow. That's insane. That's insanity. There's some people who go above and beyond that too and make friggin' 737 cockpits. Whenever I see that, all I do is write Dear Santa. Oh, did that just pop into view? Wow. Okay. Wow, look, they actually have full working wind turbines in this. Such a great plane to fly. Any nice little strips to land on? Nope. Really nothing, honestly. Yeah, can I make this a little bigger? Oh, perfect. We'll just keep flying along the coast. The only thing that sucks about this plane, no autopilot. Wow, look at that. That looks insane. That might look fun to land in, but I don't think I should. We're gonna go down even lower. Let's have some fun here. I will actually follow some of the rules. 500 feet above or away from any objects. Go even lower. We're not near anybody, so might as well. I haven't seen any boats in this game. I might have to turn that traffic AI up. Could we land on that street? Right at the end of that cul-de-sac? I don't know. Oh, it's not a cul-de-sac. Never mind. Nah, that'd be too risky. sick. That would have been pretty bad. You know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and stay in the Discord there. Beat the bets, man. Gotta beat the bets. Speaking of bets, I miss mine. Since I moved out, I don't get to see her as much. Let's see, is that? Okay, good. That's on. In case anyone wants to join the Discord party and chat with me. Man, these clouds always look incredible. These clouds never cease to amaze me. They just look so nice and fluffy. Let's see where we are on the map. Oh, geez, where did first flight go? Oh, wait. Oh, it's right there. Okay, yeah, I don't want to land there. But it's actually a very hard airport spot. So let's head like somewhere like right over there. Do a couple touch and goes in the 152. I can actually look at this to see if any of you are actually flying with me, probably. See, we got to go that way. Oh, no, hang on. Let's turn back a little bit more. Right there. Whoa, going down. Hang on. Pull that sucker up. 3,000 feet should probably do it. In case you want to join the server, in North Carolina, right near First Flight Airport, to the east of North Carolina. It's right on the coast. In fact, I could actually show you this map right here. So, yeah, North Carolina, right here. This is where I am. Oh, hang on, we got an airport right down below us. Right over there. How did I not see that? And I wanted to be a pilot in real life. Yeah, I don't think I want to land. I want to go something smaller. Jeez, I want to take it and get over there. If that's uncontrolled air, but I don't think it is. Oh no, I can actually land there. Yeah, let's go ahead and land there. Let's do a couple touch and goes. Actually, hang on, we need to check the status here. Wow, where it's actually different? It's not. There's no cloud at 12,000. All right, so 281. We're gonna want runway 23. That's the closest to the wind heading in our direction. So touch and go. Position.
Kilo Mike Quebec India traffic Cessna November 1787 Romeo Echo 2 miles south 2,400 feet inbound touch and go left traffic runway 23.
It's going to be that way, so probably that one right there. So let's go ahead and, oh, not descending. Now we're going to do a steep turn. Let's have a little fun here. feel that you're getting stressed on the plane there. Actually, no, the 2-3's coming this way. I think that's 2-3. Well, I guess we'll find out. We gotta get this sucker down. Oh, I love the way this plane feels, man. It is such a good feeling airplane. Super responsive. Like you feel like you're part of the plane. I love it. Alright, so we're on our downwind now, left downwind.
Kilo Mike, Quebec, India. Traffic Cessna November 1787 Romeo Echo is on downwind runway 23.
Staying up a little bit. Gotta maintain 1,000 feet for our pattern altitude. Very good. A little too far out, but I think we'll be okay in the end. Alright, almost ready for the base leg and power back. Power back to 1500. And flaps down.
Kilo Mike, Quebec, India. Traffic Cessna November 1787 Romeo Echo is on crosswind runway 23.
No, not crosswind. Base. Base.
Kilo Mike, Quebec, India. Traffic Cessna November 1787 Romeo Echo is on base runway 23.
Alright, looking good, looking good. A little less power, we're a little too high. Oh, here we go. 4 people watching now. So stay tuned, guys. We're about to land. Do not go away. Alright, final.
Kilo Mike, Quebec, India. Traffic Cessna November 1787 Romeo Echo is on final runway 23 touch and go left traffic.
There we go. Alright, we have a slight crosswind here, but we should be okay. Alright, we gotta speed up because they're getting too slow. There we go. Alright, a little too fast. Pull back a little bit. Woo! Ah, I saved that one. Holy shit, that one was close. That wasn't my best landing, but I did manage to save it. Let's go around and do it again. You just gotta practice. And there's 50. There's back. Up and start our turn.
Kilo Mike, Quebec, India. Traffic Cessna November 1787 Romeo Echo is on crosswind runway 23.
Yeah, that landing, that could have been a very bad landing, but damn, I flared it right above the stall speed. I guess it's just because I'm not as familiar with this airplane. I don't really know what its limits are. I'm gonna say it's going to be about 55 knots. I wish they would give you reference guides on this. If you don't have it, you're not going to know how the plane really flies when you first try to fly it. I think we're even further out now. That ain't good. Alright. Downwind.
Kilo Mike, Quebec, India. Traffic Cessna November 1787 Romeo Echo is on downwind runway 23. Quebec, India. Traffic Cessna November 1787 Romeo Echo is on base runway 23.
Alright. Gotta get a good feel for how this airplane flies when it's going slow. That's why that landing was a little sketchy. Let's see how slow we can get this and see what it takes to make this thing stall. I know this ain't the best place to test that, but better than on the final. Actually, no, final actually might be the best place to stall. I'm thinking about it. I still got good control here. At about 50 knots. This thing is still flying at 40. Man, this thing can fly slow.
Kilo Mike, Quebec, India. Traffic Cessna November 1787 Romeo Echo is on final runway 23 touch and go left traffic.
Okay, at least now we know. Okay, I was way too fast last time, no wonder. We'll keep it about 50. I think 50 is good. Slowly pulling that power back more and more and more as we get closer. Alright. Whoa! There we go. Saved it. Or at least I saved it. But it's not good enough. Do it again. I do that, before we actually do that landing, let me actually test this thing in slow flight and see what its stall limit is. Let's just get to a comfortable altitude and do that first. So we're just going to head straight out, up to about 1,000 feet, perform a quick stall on it with 20 degrees of flaps. That should be enough. But yeah, I can do that. Oh, what the? We got a low flyer here. What is that? From Chile. Wow. Greetings from America. Good to see you, man. 1500, maybe 1800. We'll try 1800. Okay. So 20 degrees of flaps. See what the limit is on this bad boy. See what we can do. Actually, yeah, let's go down to 1500 because I really, really want to test this thing. This thing was still flying at 40 knots. Alright. So, a little bit below 40 knots is the stall speed at 20 degrees of flaps. I'll do one more, and then I'll check out Kittrell. Hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. $39, yeah, right around there. So I'd say it'd be good to try 45 knots, actually. I'll try that, 45. Yeah, man, this thing flies a lot. I knew this thing flies slower than the 172, but damn. This thing can fly slow. It's quite impressive, actually. Well, at least I know now, so I can make much better landings. Far out from the runway this time. Still love this airplane. I just wish I had a bigger checklist. I like to see A2A make a plane like this. I know they're working on a twin-engine aircraft right now for this game, but I want them to port every single plane they've worked on over to this game. I don't care, man. I will rebuy them. They're that good. Alright, man. Jump on. Please. Get a little bit lonely in the air. I believe I'm online. I'll have to double check. Yeah, if I'm online, please join. I want to fly with you guys. Downwind.
Kilo Mike, Quebec, India. Traffic says in November 1787 Romeo Echo is on downwind runway 23.
Oh, what's so fast? Okay. Oh, hang on. Hey, oh, hey, oh. Alright.
Kilo Mike, Quebec, India. Traffic generic November 5249er uniform 11 miles northeast inbound visual runway 23.
Alright, they're nowhere near us.
Kilo Mike, Quebec, India. Traffic generic November 5249er uniform is on final runway 23 to land.
I don't see them. They said 11, right? Yeah, 11 miles. Yep, East USA server. That's it. East Coast USA. You see me? So wait. Oh, I see him on the map. Okay. Alright, next notch of flaps. Alright, we'll maintain about 60 for now, I think. Would be good. And as we get closer and closer, I'll just keep leaning up more speed. It is, technically, hang on, let me see if I can help you out. out here. That's the code right there. Kilo Mike Quebec India. KMQI. That's the airport I'm at right now. Just doing some touch and goes here. Yay! I gotta turn on the thing, the nameplates. This one's looking good. Okay. A little bumpy, but it was still a good landing. I'll turn off the runway for a second. Let you guys join in. Just hold right here for a second. Alright, let me get those nameplates on really quick so I can spot you guys. Navigate. Nope, that's not it. Oh wait, yeah, that was it. Hang on. Maybe it was. User experience. Navigation aids. You know, where the heck are they? Damn, maybe it's in, I think it's in general. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Let's see if I can see any of you guys. Oh, I see a far aisle. I see you up there. I got you. Alright, I'll take off and I'll join you guys in the air. I'm just gonna text you the runway real quick and I'll head on up. Ooh, that looked rough. Oh, just barely clipped. I'll wait right here. I'll take off with you, man. Good. I think I'll let you go point. I can't tell. Yeah, okay. down here. We can do this though, because you know we got smaller airplanes. All right, I'm ready to go. There we go, beautiful. It's the East USA server. I believe that's what it's called. Alright then, see you in a bit. I see it moving. Turning toward you. Doing a nice little steep turn. Oh, perfect. There you are, right in front of me. Oh, yeah, let's go a little fast. Ah! Ah! There we go. Oh, this is so cool. Oh, I love doing this. And I'm going to get even closer to you. Make it look so easy.
Kilo Mike Quebec India traffic generic November 5 249er uniform is on base runway 23.
Alright, almost got you, almost got you, almost got you. There we go. Good. Oh, this is so neat. I love doing this. This is so much more fun than I thought it would be. We got a good formation here. So, if I'm on your butt in aviation, is that called air gating or plane gating? I mean, it's technically still called a tail, so I guess I am still tailgating you. That's actually my number one pet peeve in driving. I can't imagine what it'd be like if someone's doing that while you were flying. Your plane was starting to go a little bit nano sound.
Kilo Mike Quebec India traffic generic November 5 249er uniform is on final runway 23 to land. Kilo Mike Quebec India traffic generic November 5 249er uniform 2 miles northeast inbound visual runway 23.
I think I'll be able to see it behind me. Yep, there we go. America is to do some bush flying with you guys. That's going to be fun. I think I actually decided that every state that I land in, I'm going to eventually do a live stream with it, like a few days after. Just to keep everything active, because I know my jumping is for a bit. So. Trying to catch up to you. Literally flying. Let me see if I can see out that window there. There you are. I wonder how what your plane stall speed limit is. Look how fast you're freaking going compared to us. It's insane. Insane how fast that plane is. There we go. Wow, I don't know how they managed to get this without any lag. How did they create this thing? That's insane. That's insanity. Woo! I wonder what we should do. I'd say maybe terrify some beachgoers. Woo! Oh, gotta roll out. Gotta roll out. If there even are beachgoers here, I don't see any. Full flaps down now. Let's see how much this plane floats now. Oh gee, this is uneven terrain. Oh gosh. Oh my gosh, that's terrifying. Ah. Oh gee. Alright, let's take back off. I'm sure that was 100% illegal. I'll be filing some reports with the FAA after this. That was fun. Oh, that bridge. I wonder if I can land on that. Holy cow, can I actually see a car from here? That's an impressive draw distance. Oh, oh nice one, Chili Fan. That was a cool flyby. It was such a sexy looking plane, isn't it? Yeah, that's where I was originally going to fly across America, but it's just a little too tricky for me. I just want to stick what I'm comfortable with. Oh, hang on, I'm going to fly down into traffic. I'm going to pull someone over for speeding here. I can do that, right? policemen that pull people over in planes, right? Pull over. Woo woo. Whoa. Oh my god, wow, this is actually pretty fast. Flying past all the cars. Yeah, I would only freak out maybe a little bit if I saw a plane hovering above me that close. Yeah, these guys are just totally cool. They're like, oh, it's a typical day, it's random ad. Flying this plane too low to the ground once again. Woo-hoo-wee. Wow, how have I not hit someone yet? Ooh, I think I did that time. Oh, yeah, I actually did cut this windshield. That's actually terrifying. Here, just watch my stream for a sec. Hang on. You go to General right here, and then you click on Traffic and go to Show Traffic Nameplates right here and switch it to On. Then you should be able to see me. But I see you. You're not too far from me, so. I would love to get an Cessna like that, or just an acrobatic plane. I don't know if I want to do that in a Cessna. That would kind of terrify me. No problem, my dude. Ooh. Look out, guys. One way? Oh no, did I seriously lose a subscriber? I think I did. Yeah, I knew that was gonna happen. I actually already did reach 1,000 subs, but YouTube just likes to delete subs. That's the only thing I can guess. I mean, there's probably some people legit unsubscribing from me, but I think that has a lot to do with YouTube just being YouTube. Wow, this thing is flying. It's pretty heavy fast. Yeah, we'll fly. Whoa, oh gee. Almost freaking stalled there. What YouTube does is they look at inactive accounts and then they just unsub you. It makes no sense. Back, if I hit 1,000 before, I'll hit it again. Not that it really matters, because all I'm doing is just boosting around. Look out for those guys. Coming through, trying to beat the rush hour traffic here. Whoa, okay, I was getting a little too close close to the tree there, so I think I still have crash turned down. But hang on, let's this is risky. I feel like that's not good for the engine for some reason. I'm gonna do that again. See if that actually kills the engine. Yeah, that actually hurts the engine. That is actually so cool. That is really neat. I did not notice that small detail in there. I'm sure it just screws up the fuel and where it's being fed to. Oh, dude! That was sweet. That was sweet. For a split second, I heard like a before you came right behind, before you were right over me. Carlisle, where are you? Oh, there you are. I got you. I'm just going to go ahead and hit a car and see what happens. Whoa, that was a fucking man. Yeah, nothing happens. Oh, I'm gonna hit that tractor trailer right there. There we go. Come here. Well, what is with the lag? How much fuel like that? Oh, about 27%. That's okay. Ooh, hang on. This is something really, really dangerous. As if I was having an engine emergency and I had to land on the highway. There are videos of that on YouTube. I'm sure you guys have probably seen them, but they're pretty insane. And you had to take I actually saw a video of a plane. I think it was like maybe a ultralight or a Cessna, and they landed on a road, then pulled up into a parking lot. It was pretty insane. I just hope if one day I become a pilot, something like that doesn't happen to me, but I can't expect it not to. It's a very bad mindset to have. Yeah, it can be done. Don't mind me, neighbors, just passing through. Just taking my plane out for a little joyride. Nothing to be scared of. Alright, I'm gonna take off. We'll see y'all later. There we go. Doing touch and goes on the road. See if I can fly in between the. Oh, hang on. Oh, I just had a really stupid but cool idea, but also very stupid. Let's see if I can make it through this windmill without getting hit by the windmill. Oh my god. Oh, I did it. would be even more intense if I was doing this with an Airbus. I just wish, I mean, I do right now, but then I have to leave the session. I just wish you could just switch, well, I mean, you can with dev mode. I don't want to have to use that. Oh gosh. This is getting bad. Oh my god. I don't know why. It's actually just really fun to just really goof around in this. And just not follow the rules of aviation. Man, it's cool to see everything up close. Oh, my neck is so stiff. I do not know why. So you know, if any of you guys are on my Discord, I got a party chat going. If you want to chat for a bit, you can join it if you want. Just throwing it out there. Oh look, there's a shadow. That's still good that they cast a shadow like that. Just all those tiny little details. Whoa! Yeah, let's see where we are right now. Oh, first flight's right over there. You know what? Screw it. I'll go ahead and land at it. But I'm not going to get any clearance because right now I'm just being a rebel pilot. Alright, it's right there. I recognize that little circle thing there. I don't want the flaps down yet. Uh-oh. Looks like someone's trying to make a landing here. Oh, someone hopped in the Airbus. You know what? Chili Stan, I dare you. I dare you to land at first flight with the Airbus. There's a challenge for you. Because that's not going to be easy. Going here. If you're up to the challenge, Chili's, just let me know. We'll wait down here at the airport for you. far. I don't know if I take off quite yet. Ooh! That was a bumpy one. Damn. Ah, there you are. We're gonna see if he's gonna actually try to land this sucker. A320 at first flight. Alright, I'm gonna sit back and relax and watch this. I hope you're doing it, man. I wanna see this. Oh, you're trying to join Discord? Cool, man. I see him coming down. Oh, I see him. I see the plane.
Oh, I think I'm here.
Oh, is that you?
That's me.
Hey, man, how's it going?
You're just meeting the world's worst pilot. Aren't you excited?
Nah.
ATC, there's 3 letters in the alphabet. This is fun. Oh, wait, I gotta turn down the phone because I can hear myself yapping, so. Okay, there we are, a few seconds behind there. Okay, now let me jump back to the simulator. I did some loop-to-loops. I didn't know the
barrels
150.
are full-on loops.
Full-on loops. I was hoping you'd see them. I did like 3 of them.
Oh, gee, I did, man. You know,
I will. When we get out of here, I'll take off and I'll go out over the ocean and give it another try.
Nice. One thing I noticed, you might have heard me in the stream. I think he's gonna actually try to land, but is that when you actually roll the Cessna over, the engine actually loses power, which is actually a cool detail.
Oh, that's cool, right? Because it should. Obviously.
Yeah, because like the fuel flow is not as good anymore.
Right. Maybe the oil, something like that.
Yeah.
I'm not much of an expert, but I've like 20-something years flight simulator experience, but you'd never. Oh, dude, I'm old. You'd never know it from the way I fly because I used to have to fly with a keyboard. None of my friends were into it. Didn't know a whole lot about it. I would just kind of mess with the little planes because the IFR flying was impossible because it was hard to control the plane with the keyboard. So finally, when I saw this was coming out, I built a new computer, or I had one built, and I got the yoke, and so that's why I'm waiting for some of the controls here because it'll make flying a lot easier. My taxiing is terrifying. You'll see what I mean. When I click one single input from my rudder, like that, as you can see, I'm just clicking the button one time to the right, one time to the left. I don't know if you can see that, but on the ground, you should see what the effect of it is on the ground. It's really crazy, so I can't wait to get pedals. Oh, look at this. Oh, it's a nice low. Oh no, it's a repeat of the Air France. Yeah, that's
So
awesome.
close.
Okay, I'll try it.
He's trying it. He's gonna do it.
I'm gonna go out the. Remember, world's worst pilot, second world's worst taxier. So get ready.
It's all good, man. You just
You
gotta
haven't
practice
seen.
it.
Oh, yeah, going slow so I can control it. But wait till you see it when I start hitting the. See the way that it steers on here. I'm just clicking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Because what it does, it resets itself.
Right.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna go straight out. Let's do this. Straight out. Off we go.
So you're using the keyboard right now?
No, I'm actually using my honeycomb.
Oh, right.
Alpha yoke. Can't
Oh,
wait
okay.
for the. But I am using the keyboard obviously for the throttles and stuff because those are not. I think I need some flaps to take off here. There's no. Hey, that was an easy takeoff. Very good. I'm gonna go to 1,500 feet and I'm gonna do a total loop still. Get ready.
Oh yeah,
I usually. You know what's funny is I never flew multiplayer I was always flying by myself because, you know, I figured I'm a really terrible pilot, so let's not let's not show the world how terrible we are. But in this, it's so much fun that.
Oh yeah, nobody takes flying seriously in multiplayer. Everyone goes rogue.
So now it's fun to just act silly once in a while. Usually I don't, but why not? So I'm gonna climb out to. So I'm gonna climb straight out. That way, if I crash, I'll just go into the ocean. But excuse me. Yeah, I won't kill anybody. I am. I just gotta get a little bit higher. Let me take the flaps off so I can build up some speed so I can get up.
Oh no, he's gonna hit the ground. Oh
no. No, did he?
He's good. Oh wait, maybe not. Try doesn't crash this time. Wow, that's actually terrifying to look at, to see them fly low like that.
Yeah, it is. Because the planes look pretty good in the sim, so when you see it, you're like, oh. If you saw that in real life, you'd be like, no.
Oh, if I saw it in real life, I literally shit myself.
In tears, yeah. Terrible. Well, KC Starlifter is dead ahead of me. I hope they are going a lot faster because I'm about to try it. I just got to get up to 1500, then I'll push towards the ocean and see if I can do it again. Almost there. 1500 is usually enough room to.
I can't blame him if he's having difficulty landing here because this is such a tough runway spot.
Oh, dude. I would have went into the trees, did a spin, a cartwheel, a backflip, triple toe loop, double axle, yeah.
Hey, at least you'd be crashing with style.
Yeah, gold medal. Okay, I'm up.
There you go. And then you just see a bunch
Okay,
of
here we
planes
go.
going up in the air.
I'm good. I'm gonna try it now. Ready? So let's pull up a little bit, bleed off some speed, get an extra few hundred feet, and shove it to the ground. Here we go. Oh, you know what though? It's really hard to see over the ocean. I might not be able to do it. Hold on. Oh, go. Nope, it won't let me do it. I need to... Whoa, what am I doing here? I'm gonna die. Oh no. I think I'm dead. Yeah, because... Yeah, because the ocean, I couldn't see the I did it. Unfortunately, I did a Kennedy Jr. there just now. Oopsie.
Oh, looks like I got 1,000 subs again. Thanks
nice.
for subscribing.
Nice. Let me get back up to altitude here, and I'm going to do it over land because I realized that when I pushed down towards the ocean, I couldn't see.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Screw up your
yeah,
or whatever.
Yeah, your spatial awareness.
Oh yeah, that's spatial awareness. I couldn't think of the word.
Yeah, I'm going to go over the land here. I don't know where y'all are because I have no idea where I crashed, so you are... Oh, there you are. Okay, so you're over there, so I'm on my way. Just gonna... You know, it would have helped if I would have had full power, but I didn't realize I didn't, so...
Yeah.
Here we go.
I think I'll give it a try in a second. I gotta get a little more altitude, though.
Yeah. It usually works at 1500 if you kind of then pull up and gain an extra 200-300 and then just shove your nose down like a roller coaster.
Yeah.
And pull back and hold it straight. It works. And I gotta get over somewhere where I can actually see how close I am to the ground. I couldn't see the ocean. They've done something a little weird right now with the textures of the ocean, which I think might be a bug. It could be an overlay. They are working on another physics engine. They had mentioned that the effects engine, I should say, that they were already dealing with a 2.0 before the sim was released. So definitely we're going to be seeing contrails. We're going to be seeing probably wake when you're landing. So you'll see a water trail when you land in the ocean. And
oh, that looks sick.
Yeah, these things are coming. It's just going to take a little while to... Okay, now I'm over the land. So let's see if I go back inside the cockpit. And gotta pick up some speed first. Still going a little bit slow. So get a little bit more here in the middle. Back there, so now. So I don't know
you
what to do.
ain't kidding. You really lose spatial awareness with that ocean.
Yeah, I couldn't tell at all. I'm like, well, wait a minute, how close am I in? I tried to recover, but again, the sky, the sea, it was... Okay, let's see, I'm up to about 2,000, so now it should work. So I'm going to turn a little bit more so I'm completely over land. Yeah, so myself straight in the line so I can use the beach as a reference. And now I'm going to look over. Here we go. Try and line up a little bit straight here so I can. Oops. And now. Go up, 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 up. Going up. And bleeding off speed. Come on, come on, come on. Like a roller coaster. Down. Ooh, here we go. And now here we go. There we go. That was fun.
I did it at 1,300 feet.
Yes.
One cool trick I think you could try is one thing. Once you're about to start heading down, full power all the way back in full flaps.
Yeah, that would that'd give you some help.
Yeah.
I saw you landed on the road.
Oh yeah.
Did the cars
No,
crash
they don't
into
cause
you?
a crash, no.
Yeah, I was going upside down a few times. So, I'm going way too fast to land on the road, so that's not. I'm going 150 knots. That would be good.
Now it's over.
Oh no.
Okay, I know you're stalling, I know.
You know, I've never seen power lines until I came around here. You notice
power
the big power towers there?
Yeah, and the windmills too.
Yeah, I saw a couple of those in Europe, but I haven't seen. That's pretty cool. I wonder. Well, they don't have power lines because I would have hit it just now.
Yeah,
Wow.
I don't think they would have counted as a crash though. I don't think they have collision for that.
I wonder if I go over here. I'm gonna see what happens when I come to these what you call it? These windmills. Technically, I shouldn't be able to do this, so. Oh dear, this isn't gonna work, is it? No, it's not. I've timed it wrong. Can I go between them? Oh.
Yeah, I literally went right between the fan legs.
I just did. That was cool.
Well, I think there's caravan now. I think I'm slightly easier time landing that on the runway.
Yeah, I like the caravan now that I'm getting used to it. It's a little bit hard to slow down, but once you're starting to get the hang of it, but it's good because it's got that stall characteristic, so you can do short takeoffs and landings. Have you flown any in New Guinea with all those little short strips in the jungle or on the sides of mountains? They're unbelievable.
Oh no, I haven't tried anything like that.
Oh, dude. Oh, you got to see. You have to see the one airport. It's actually it's on the island of Papua, but it's technically in Indonesian. It's called Bugalaga, 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 Laga. Dude, it's on a super steep mountain, and you got to see it.
Is it one of those landing challenges by any chance?
Yeah, well, it is a landing challenge, and it's a starred airport, so it's going to be one of the ones that have like the highest detail.
Right.
Wow, why am I trying to land at 120 knots on a rough sandy beach in front of all these rich people? Oh, I lived. Wow, it's really rough though. Yeah, that was fun.
I'm actually liking these loop-de-loops.
Yeah,
I don't know why, they're so fun.
I feel like such a child, but it's fun, right?
Yeah.
Speed up. I should be able to take off now. Well, there we go. Up and away. I like this area. It's nice.
Yeah.
Good visibility. Oop. Let myself slide back down. Give myself some trim. Up. You know what else I'm hoping for? But people probably laugh at me. I'd love it if we had some waves. Remember how they used to have that little white lines that would close in on the shore in FSX and 2009?
Yeah,
that
like
little wave
Wonderland,
effect.
yeah.
Sometimes when you were in bad weather, they would kind of catch your eye. Let's say you're in like really low IMC, but you'd see that little bit of movement, and you'd be like, oh, that's the. So I missed that part. I wish that. I'm sure they'll add it eventually because it's been in the last like 2002, 2004 FSX, so I wouldn't be surprised if they added in there eventually.
Oh, looks like you got
Man.
you standing here doing barrel rolls in the caravan.
Very nice. Ooh, caravan. Look behind you guys. In the streams I do with Flying Cookie, I'm always behind everybody, so it's weird to be in front. I'm always, yeah, I don't know why. I'm always trailing. You know, we do a little show and we, discuss topics, do a little news, do a little speculation, invite people to join to fly. But I sort of concentrate so hard on the flying that I don't realize, my speed is a little bit slower and I'm always the last one behind. And then, of course, what that means is at the end of the stream, who's the last person landing when everybody's watching? And I'm the notoriously bad pilot that's like, oh, no pressure. Everybody's watching you crash. How far does this go out, I wonder? I'm going to follow it until it goes to the end. I don't know how much. Say that again?
What are you trying to test with your plane right now?
No, I actually wanted to see how far this land went out. I see more land in front of me.
Land. Oh, okay.
The Outer Banks. I'm curious what the extremity of the land is. So let's see how far it goes. I always tell this story when we do the shows. I'm like, I was the kid that always would take a map of the world and find the one dot in the middle of the ocean or the piece of land that stuck out into the ocean. Oh, I want to know what that looks like. It just drive my mother crazy. Like, who lives there? She goes, how would I know? So here I am again. I'm going to the end point of the land. Why? I don't know. It's just the habit since I was a kid. I'm down south, so the Florida Keys, you always like to drive all the way to the very end.
Yeah.
And then where it says US 1 marker 0 mile, it's pretty cool. Everybody gets a picture taken. Got that little buoy that tells you at the most southern point of the United States. I love that stuff. Have you flown in the Keys yet?
Nope, but that's going to be not the next one, but the one after. I believe my next flight, which I'm going to do tomorrow, is going to be to Charleston.
Okay. It's a lot of fun, for sure.
I want to fly over the Florida Keys really bad. Just flying over
and you know what?
in general.
It's super easy to navigate because it's just US 1. You can't go wrong. You can't get lost, and the part's pretty fun. Have to trim the plane some more. It keeps wanting to. Oh, I see what they did. There we go. In the beginning, I have to say that it was very hard to trim with this yoke, but whatever they've done, they've made it a little easier to be able to trim. I had a little bit of a hard time trimming the caravan.
Yeah, sometimes me too. For me, I think it kind of depends on the plane, like how sensitive the trim wheel is.
Yep.
I know default planes in FSX were super sensitive.
Oh, you porpoise the whole way across the sky.
Oh, I know.
Up and down and up and down.
Very conservative with your trim.
Oh yeah. Oh, well, that's another thing I'm looking forward to. I've never had a trim wheel. So the Bravo throttle quadrant from Honeycomb.
Oh, it comes with a trim wheel.
Yeah, it comes with one, so it'll be nice. I can actually, take the buttons that are on the yoke and maybe assign them to something else. Because you've got 2 vertical switches and 2 horizontal switches. The 2 horizontal are meant to be for trim. 2 vertical they're meant to be for rudder.
Right.
And then the verticals are for elevator. Verticals work perfect on it. The rudder, oh, you can't see me from where you are, but I could show you just with one click. When you're up there and you see me, I'll click the mouse one single time and watch how the plane jerks. That's the one frustration is it's...
Oh, with the rudder or just the trim?
Yeah, it's a real abrupt, because it's an on or an off. It's not a sliding kind of input. So I would imagine rudder pedals you could, slowly input the pedals and then let off the pressure. Whereas this is just on off, on off, on off. So I think I'm coming to the end of the land. Let's zoom in. So we're at the Outer Banks, but we're at the Outer Banks. I don't know, I'm looking, I still see some. Trying to zoom. I haven't messed with the drone camera very much.
Honestly, the best way to use it is with a controller.
That's what everybody says, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to get me one of those.
Yeah, I have a lot of fun now.
If anything freaky happens, my cat has just jumped on the table, so I'm one paw away from the plane being shut off, or because she just steps on the keyboard at the end of whatever it is. It's over.
I think your cat just wants to be the co-pilot.
Yeah, she's eyeballing it like, if you don't get out of that seat, I'm gonna scratch her eyes out. Wow, this land really does go way out here. Very narrow. When hurricanes come here, it's kind of like the Keys. You've really got to do something to be able to evacuate. And there's the one road in, so they usually block it coming in, and it's only outgoing traffic. So this is a lot like the Keys in that it's such a narrow strip of land with one major, I guess, highway getting you out.
I was wondering where Chili's fan was there. Yes, he just came up right behind me in,
Yep.
I think, Cubcraft.
He's still in the Airbus?
Oh, no. He's in a much smaller plane now.
Oh,
He's in a tail dragger now.
he'd be zipping right by us if he was in that.
Oh, I know. Almost made it on that runway, though, but that's a tough runway to land on.
Oh, yeah.
Especially
Short
at
and
night,
narrow.
there's no lights on,
yeah.
on night for it.
Oh, this island off to my right side that I'm coming up to, it almost looks like it could be, oh, it's covered with trees. It almost looks like it was a grassy strip, but now that I'm getting close enough to really look at it, it is covered with trees, so that would mean instant explosion. That won't work.
Yeah.
That's what's fun about the bush flying in the sim, is that you could just really find any flat piece of land, and it's great.
I know, that's why I can't wait till I eventually make it to Alaska.
Oh, it's nice. And they're going to be redoing the next world update is for the USA. So I would imagine that a lot of the elevation, because they had some weird elevation in British Columbia and a couple areas of Alaska that, you know, they had like elevated rivers and elevated lakes because the AI had misread some of those. There is a free fix for it on one of the Flight Simulator freeware places.
Yeah.
I think it's MS add-ons, Flight Simulator .2. There's a couple of them, and they have like 400 sites that are water fixes. So it really is an issue until you get that world update for the whole USA. You might implement that, but it was pretty good. I went to the Aleutian Islands, and I went to the area that I went to in real life in Ketchikan. We're gonna try to do that flight so that I can show people. What I'd love to do is I'd love to get the same kind of seaplane that we flew that trip in, but right now there's no DHC-2 Beavers, so, but they'll come. The planes will take a little while because of the physics and stuff like that, but
yeah.
Wow, this land does go on further than I could see, but I definitely can see the end now.
Okay, good.
Man, this is a heck of a trip out here. If you took this by automobile, you'd be talking a couple hours from...
Oh, easily.
Wow, it's really far.
Well, one area I'm hoping they improve with the USA is Washington, D.C.
Yeah, they released a payware already for it, but I'm sure over time, the people at Bing said, you know, we're going to be going over pretty much the entire planet little by little by little. So there will come a time that maybe some of the payware scenery will be redundant, but it does serve its purpose because while you're waiting for that to happen, you can, and you know what I've noticed, the payware seems to be pretty fair in price. You're not seeing a lot of, you know, $59.99 for South Carolina or $79.99 for, you know, an area. So at least they are keeping the prices somewhat reasonable, which is good. I was worried if they'd be really, because if they would be difficult to make because it's so much more dynamic than other sims, that maybe they'd be very expensive, but wisely I think they've managed to keep it down so far. So
yeah, plus I don't think Azobo is typically in charge of the price. I think it's because it's a third party.
Yeah, I think the third party sets it, and then there might be a little markup, kind of like what happens with Steam. They set the price and then Steam adds theirs on top, but Steam's pretty expensive, so I'm glad that it hasn't really gone that route yet.
Yeah, well, even if it did, I would hope that the flight sim community would speak up about it. I know I would.
They would. Yeah, they would. They would. I'm looking forward to, definitely. I also wonder how they're going to do the airports. There's some airports that are not in their database, and I understand why, because some of them that I went looking for, the satellite imagery was clouded, clouded over, and so the AI didn't read it. But there is a list of those that are in the forum as well that they've made and they submitted to Zendesk. So, because some of if you're trying to make a flight around the world and you want to do it in a small aircraft, you do need some of these obscure island airports in order to be able to fuel up.
Right.
If you want to do it that way. I mean, there is a trick. You can simulate a bladder tank by basically putting, for instance, the 172 is what, 56 gallons, I think. So if you have another passenger, it's 170 pounds. Well, half of a full tank of gas is 28 pounds, it's 168. I'm sorry, it's 28 gallons, it's 168 pounds. So technically you could put cargo of 168 pounds, and then as you're running low on fuel, transfer that to the fuel and zero out the cargo, and it's like you're using a bladder tank that you've got in your back seat, which some people do use that to get across certain stretches of water. So I thought, well, if they don't do that right away, you know, where you get a variant or something that will give you a little bit longer range, you could always sort of do it yourself.
Oh, come on, baby! Come on, baby!
You're trying to do it as realistic as you can.
There we go!
Oops.
I actually just saw, I don't know if this may have been one of the airports you mentioned to me, but it is, Lukla, you said?
Oh, Lukla is that is the
Nepal.
most dangerous, yeah, that's the most dangerous airport in the world.
Yeah, this guy just landed an A320 on it.
Wow. Did he manage to stop?
Yeah, I mean, granted, he had crash physics off.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because
Yeah,
the wingspan
when
is
they
too
take
big.
off, it's hilarious when they take off in these big airliners. If you have the crash damage turned on, you just see them and they go off the cliff and then they just drop. It's funny to watch. They got videos of it on YouTube where they're, you know, barreling down because it's a sloped runway and there's a cliff at the end.
Mm-hmm.
And so they just kind of go off like a roller coaster, just boom, down they go.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we're finally coming to the end here. Make a gigantic turnaround. I didn't realize it was this long, or I wouldn't have dragged everybody.
Well, it's okay. I'm just happy to fly.
It's beautiful to look at, isn't it?
Oh, I know. These little beautiful North Carolina islands.
Yeah. Well, you know, a part of the thing I think that's going on with the sim, and Flying Cookie and I were talking about it on the stream, and what it is for many, many, many years, the VFR flying was impossible because the land just didn't look
Convincing.
Yeah, if you weren't flying where there was, that's where my name comes from, Far Isle. I always flew to islands, or I flew along the coastline, because the coastline was somewhat recognizable. You kinda could figure out where you were, but if you went cross country from like Pennsylvania to Nevada, forget it.
Oh yeah.
You wouldn't be able to recognize where you were. Once in a while, you come over a city and say, "Oh, that's supposed to be, you know, Des Moines or Omaha or whatever." But other than that, you'd be hard pressed to know where you were. But in this one, I think they knew that the world was going to look so good,
Yeah.
and I think that's why some of the GA aircraft are more developed than the more sophisticated airliner and business jets. And I think that's because they wanted to take advantage where they had the advantage, which would be the scenery. And I think over time, over the course of the coming, you know, 6 to 9 months, they're going to be implementing fixes. You know, the Xbox thing is another thing that they must be drawing some of their attention. I would think that that version has to come out. So I think once that Xbox version is done, Xbox X is released, I think they'll be able to, although the two versions are supposedly very similar, but I think they'll be able to hone in without being distracted, like, okay, we've got a timeline now to get Xbox out. We've got to get it out. Maybe they said sometime in the year, but maybe they're trying to get it out for Christmas to take advantage of the sales. But I think once that's done, there will be less division of resources and time, and I think these fixes will be tested a little bit more. That's why they're going to have beta testers testing some of the patches now coming out in the future. But I think
Yeah.
they'll even be more in-house because they won't be distracted with that Xbox version. You know, with the virus thing we had going on, I think they lost a little bit of time to that.
Oh, a lot of developers did.
Yeah, so a lot of people were despairing, but I'm like, don't worry, the IFR, they're not, what it is, they're not used to it. For the older people who were used to the other versions of Flight Simulator, it was always IFR first. And if anything was going to work pretty good, it was always the jets, because that's what most people flew, because you couldn't fly a VFR. But this is reversed, so I think it's a little bit of a shock to some of the people that have come from FSX in 2004 and that they're like, oh, wait a minute, these are a little bit, they have a little bit of bugs, but the weird thing is to see the IFR people who used to really dislike general aviation, to see them now saying, you know what, I'm having a lot of fun flying in a way I never flew before. So in a way, it's winning people over. It's buying time as well, but it's winning people over to a new way of flying. So
yeah, I don't know, sometimes I prefer general aviation because you can just do so much more. Though with jets, you're just very limited.
yeah, sometimes you can get up there 35,000 feet. It's overcast. You're on all the automated systems, but your runways are limited. You've got to have, you know, the length and width, and yeah, what makes GA fun is you can, depending on the plane, you can land anywhere. So you can do a lot of short hops. You can squeeze into places. You can take advantage of the weather. Like when the weather's really, really bad, and in this sim, it's amazing when it's bad. That you know, forced landings or emergency landings, and I think it's a lot of fun. So we got, I don't know what this place is out here, but we're going over a little bit of a town right before the
I
end.
had very bad weather when I was going into North Carolina. I had to divert.
Oh yeah, I saw some of that. That's the one, the last stream, was it?
Yeah, my last video, it was just a crap load of thunderstorms.
Yeah. Oh no, I see more land. No way. There's no way.
Still going, oh my god.
Dude, how far? Well, now you'd have to take a ferry to, or is there a bridge?
Oh, actually, you just pull up your VFR map, you can actually see it.
Oh, you know what? You're gonna laugh at me. A long time ago, I used to just fly with a map, period. Just an atlas. And I would take the atlas, and I literally would just, because if you remember in FSX, you could hit Shift Z, and it would show you like the latitude, longitude, and your frame rates. And
yeah.
I kind of wish they put that in here, because I used to fly just off the latitude and longitude. I wouldn't use any systems. I'd use a handheld map.
Wow.
And I just kind of putter around.
Hardcore.
Yeah, but yet the funny thing is, I don't know how to use a lot of the automated systems, which I'm going to make sure that I learn this time around. But yeah, because I had that keyboard, you couldn't control the plane very well, and made life difficult. I'm like, you know what? Give me a map. I'm gonna head towards that island. It's off in that direction, so I'm gonna kind of watch the latitude, longitude. If it increases, decreases the way that I want it, I know I'm going the right heading. And basically that's what I would just do. I just buzz around to these really obscure, in Alaska and the Yukon, British Columbia, Keys. Keys aren't as obscure, but you go to these very tiny places. But that's why I was kind of excited. They have the GA looking so good here. Wow, this is really, really far. No wonder the hurricanes hit. I think this is the easternmost point of the state is right here ahead of us, I believe. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I think we definitely are these.
Yeah, now it's going to curve back towards the mainland.
Yeah, and then go towards South Carolina. Actually, I'm actually doing my flights we'll be doing tomorrow without even thinking about it.
Yeah, I've never flown here. I never flew here in FSX even, so this is kind of a first time experience. I like it.
I might have done it in FSX because I think I mentioned it that last year actually I flew all across the United States in a Cessna 182 in FSX. I just went from state to state.
Nice.
And it was with
I have a
828 plane.
Yeah, I can't wait for them to put out one of these.
Oh, I know they are the best at general aviation. Nobody tops them.
No, and if you're gonna learn from, if you want to kind of start over, or if you're learning from scratch, it's probably the best plane that you can, really do that in, because you're gonna get a really, really good experience. You're gonna learn a lot.
About the plane itself.
Yep, exactly. And so I'm kind of waiting. That's when I'm gonna. Plus, also when they get some of the autopilot stuff fixed and the G1000, if you're flying glass, it'll be nice to have that fleshed out a little bit more, so that rather than learning workarounds, you'll actually be learning a more completed system. That's why I'm kind of delaying. I've done a few of the training things for fun, but I haven't dug deeply into. I haven't flown any of the jets since it's been out. I'm like, you know what? Let's learn it the right way, so when they're done and they're working, maybe they'll get to pay-wear level, not study, but maybe pay-wear level. I'll jump in and give them a.
Yeah, I want to eventually work my, because one third party I never bought were PMDG planes. I want to eventually get to the point of flying those jets and pressing every single button.
Yeah. Oh, we have a runway up here.
Really?
I didn't know that. Yeah, it just showed me on markers. Let me see what it says. Let me go outside. It's called Mitchell. So I want to see if we can. I'll try to land. Which I'm very poor at slowing down properly. I always seem to be either too low or too high, and suddenly right there.
Is this just for going into your descent, right?
Yeah, generally I'm not set up properly. So I'm at a pretty decent altitude right now, so I just got to bleed off some speed. But generally in FSX, I always seem to be too low, thinking, and then it would obscure your view. So you had a hell of a time trying to actually see the airport. I do like the markers. Some people are, oh, it's immersion braking and whatever. I appreciate them because it does help me.
Yeah.
I have no idea. Maybe if you zoom in on the VFR map, it'll show you the orientation of the runway. Oh, it's pretty much dead ahead.
I
So
have some suggestions.
okay.
I don't know, maybe to help with that whole thing. Do what I can. But I mean, if we had a share captain, it'd be a lot easier. But
Yeah.
basically, when you're on your traffic pattern for an airport, usually it's said that you want to be 1,000 feet above the airplane's elevation. So if it's like 200 feet above sea level, you want to be at 1,200 feet. So it's good to know the airport ahead of time. So then you fly at 1,000 feet above the ground, and my plane's out of fuel. I better fill up.
Oh no. Yeah, I'm gonna try this. I've never been here before, so I am off a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can line up and
when you're trying
line
to
up.
slow down, you want to keep your when we're slowing down to land. Usually, from what I was taught, because I actually used to take flying lessons like a decade ago, so my instructor would tell me, it was like if you're like in a Cessna or something like that, and you go back to like 1,500 RPM, and you want to maintain about 500 feet per minute. That way you're at least maintaining a good speed, so you're not going too fast on landing.
Okay, that sounds good. That 1,500 RPM will give me some indication. Because sometimes people say, okay, I'm throttling down, and I always wonder sometimes, I'm like, what did you throttle down to? How far down? Did you go to idle, or, yeah, so I always wonder about that. I'm coming in a little faster, at least. And flying with the yoke has been a total revelation.
Oh, yeah, once you go yoke, you cannot go back.
No, there's no way. I tried, and I was like, I'm never going to do this again.
No, once you're immersed, you want to stay immersed, but you got to get that soft. That's our Chili's fan. He says, I am the X-Cub behind you. We are the Air Force X-Club landing immediately, or you will be shot down.
Oh, nice. Well, I'll be crash landing here in a couple seconds, so get ready. I'm a little bit
See if I can
fast.
actually make it toward you.
Oh, not too bad. Get a little off at the end. I get a little bit not centered. Oh, yeah. See, as soon as I hit, the rudder is just such a freaky kind of a little bit overdone. So I did manage to survive. Let me see if I can.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
I can't wait till eventually we get fighter jets. I'm totally doing a Blue Angels thing.
Oh yeah. If you're gonna crash, you might as well crash at the speed of sound, right?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, there's a, you know what I haven't done? I haven't done a refuel by stopping in front of one of these fuel depot thingies. There's one right in front of me, so I wonder.
Yeah, I don't think I've done that. I've done the pushback thing when they push back the general aviation air.
No, I push the, whatever the command is on the keyboard, but nothing seems to happen when I do it for the pushback for some reason. But let me see if I can get up here without hitting this fuel truck. Oh, that's so cool. The fuel truck just moved. And he might back into me. That could be good. He's ball of fire than me. Dude, I wonder if he's coming to give me fuel or if he's just decided to get out of my way. Let's see what he's doing. Okay, stop. Let me go external.
I can see where you're at. I think my plane can make it there in a couple minutes.
Yeah, I'm watching the fuel guy. I don't exactly know what he's doing, so I'm not quite sure how to call him. I don't remember what the heat command is. Is it Control F or
Oh, that's
Shift F? Well, let's try him and see what happens. Shift F. Oh, that did something, but I don't know if it sent him away or. Yeah, I think I.
I don't know why my nose is cold right now.
Is he bringing me fuel? Well, I hit Shift F, and he went over to the fuel area. Really
You
slow.
probably just contact the ground frequency, and they can come and do it for you.
Oh yeah, the world's worst. I never use the radio. I'm terrible. Let me see. Let's see. Tune. Oh yeah, I need services, right? So.
Yep, got services. It's really cool when you use it with a jet. I love how the ground services work with jets. I just went to jets.
Yeah, that's.
I can definitely say that all of them are screwed up except for the citations, and those fly fine. But the A320, literally, I put down one notch of flaps, I hit takeoff speed, and the plane just lifts off by itself. That does not happen.
No. Okay, so I don't know what the fuel guy did, but that didn't work. So let's try Control F. Ooh, let's try F. Okay, so I'm going to try to just park myself close to the pump. And this is a challenge, not to hit the fuel truck and don't hit the fuel pump itself. Being the worst taxier in the world, that's asking for a lot. So.
If you're so bad at acting, then you're gonna have to try to use a
Yeah,
tail
like-
drag if you want a real challenge.
Oh, dude, terrible. You should see me. Oh, stop before you hit the fuel truck. Okay, I stopped right in front of the gas pump. Oh, it worked. That's too cool. It worked. As soon as I stopped directly in front of the fuel pump, the fuel window opened. I'm gonna need a lot of gas to get back. Or you know what? We can continue going straight and see what runways are at the main run. It'd be fun. I'm gonna try to do. Oh, now do you know what the command is for the pushback?
It's the left shift button and shift key.
That's probably why it hasn't been working. I've been using the right one. Let's see what happens. Oh, how do you make it stop?
Same thing, shift key.
Okay. Is there a way to make a direction to it or no?
Well, general aviation, no.
Okay,
I can try that.
that's fine. Yeah, it's working. I guess I have been using the right shift and P, so.
Oh, holy cow, I didn't even see this land come on. That landed down really quick. Holy cow. Yeah, the airport's not too far.
It's a stop. Uh-oh. It's not stopping. There we go.
Chili Spam, we'll have to see how good your, oh,
Yeah.
young captain's here. How's it going, man?
Good now.
It's all good, man. You don't have to worry about being late. It's got a good tail dragging landing there. are. Those are the hardest landings to do.
Oh.
Slow this thing down.
Man, I can't wait to have a throttle quadrant. That way you don't have to actually look at the keyboard. You can just look down at your hand and you can see where that lever actually is.
Oh,
With
dude,
the
once you have a
keyboard,
throttle quadrant, it's the best feeling ever.
Yeah, because I'm sitting here looking at the gauge to see what my RPMs are, then I'm looking down at the keyboard, then I'm trying to look to see if the plane moved, and there won't be any of that when you have a throttle. Because you could just see where your hand is.
Yep.
You'll know, from...
Alright, I'm coming to join
Yeah.
you.
Okay, I'm trying to get the plane to move here a little bit, so...
Oh boy, I'm gonna probably be floating here a little bit.
I see why I didn't move. I didn't move because I had the parking brake on. Dumb. Once you land, I'm gonna have to taxi down the runway to take off in the way the direction that you're landing, because the coast is gonna be that way. So I gotta have some, we're gonna have to have some runway. Oh, I see you, let me get out of your way. Are you coming to the fuel?
Yeah, why not? I mean,
Okay, then.
I already filled my plane up in the air, so...
Yeah, watch, when you get there, whatever you've used, when you park right over here, you're gonna see that the fuel window will come up if you're directly in front of that first pump. It's the one on the right. I just stopped directly in front of it, put on my parking brake, and the window opened. Yeah, that's pretty... I don't know how to make the fuel truck. I'm sure it's a command, I'm just not using the right one. Yeah. It's on the opposite side of... So it's going to be on the back side of that. Oh, I don't know. Actually, you know what? I didn't look to see what it looks like on the other side, so maybe you can go straight at that pump. Can you see the gas pump when you pull up? Let me look up. I'm going to look at my phone so I can see what you're seeing. Hold on.
I think I quite see it.
See that little white box there? Oh, you turned a little bit. It's back towards your right. It doesn't matter. You already pulled up. So let me...
I don't know, maybe you're seeing something on your screen that I can't.
Yeah, it's right there. Actually, see, you're facing me. So behind you, there's two white squares.
Actually, I'm
Two
gonna
white
try
boxes.
something here. I'm gonna see this little guy's guiding me.
Oh, cool. I'm gonna try to go back out. I'm gonna try that pushback thing again, see what happens. Oh, nope, I'm going the wrong way.
So I gotta go a little further.
I'm gonna
Okay, guess we're good there. Alright. Whoa! Oh, did I miss the landing? Oh, wait. Oh, shoot. Okay. We're in the citation now.
Oh, stop.
I think I might get a different plane. Yeah, you know what I want a little more variety.
Okay, what are you choosing?
I don't know, I might go with the tail dragger because I love practicing on those.
Oh yeah. Oh, you know what? I don't have dev mode open, so I can't change my plane. I guess I could turn it on. But I like to log the hours. I think it doesn't log your hours if you're in dev mode. Or it didn't in the past, but...
You know what I
did
wish
like
they would
20
do with the logbook? Because I take the logbook thing actually very seriously. I wish they would let you delete flights that you don't want in your logbook.
Yeah, because you know what? In the very beginning, I had to work. And the day after they released it, I couldn't fly it. I had to work so much. But I wanted to see what it looked like. So I got in there and I set up an AI pilot. And he flew from South Florida all the way down through the Bahamas. And I just added all the airports to the flight plan. And I let it fly it for 8 hours in a Caravan, or 7 hours. I let it fly all the way down to like Turks and Caicos, which is at the end. And they logged that in as a 7-hour flight for me. And I'm like, that's not fair because I didn't fly it. The AI flew it. And I didn't know that. And the next day I did it again, but I did a shorter flight.
Right.
And that was about 4.5 hours. Just so I could have it like up on the screen while I was working. I could just look up and, wow, look at the graphics. And So that's kind of what I was doing, and it logged me those hours. But then I made up for it because in dev mode, I flew about 20 hours. It didn't log any of them, and I couldn't figure out why. So I went on the forum and said, my logbook is not, I'm flying and it's not logging it. And so it turns out that if you had back, I don't know if it's the same now, but if you had it open and you were flying, it does not log your hours. They might have fixed that, but
yeah, maybe
2-3 weeks ago, that was my fate. Oh, you know what? I'm going to taxi down to the other end so I can take off towards the coast. So let's see.
Like the time of day it is right now. This looks kind of nice. I think I'll change it. What's a checklist on this? Okay, good. Short. 4-star engine. Yada yada yada. Star engine. Okay. Sorry, I forgot where all the buttons on this are. Let's see. Oh no, battery switch. There we go. Mixture. Switch. Ignition switches. On. I love that clicky sound.
Yeah.
Alternator field on. Prop. Set to max. Throttle. 1/4 inch. Starter engaged.
Yeah, I watched the flight you did in the Cessna 1782, and I was like, God, you know all the steps. Even though you were reading it off the checklist, it was like you knew them, and I was like, man, I wish I did.
Well,
I should know them,
but I don't. The A2A Cessna 172, that helped me out a lot.
Yeah, looking forward to that thing coming out. Learn a little maintenance, because I think you had to do a little maintenance on it, right? You had to make sure the spark plugs weren't
Yep, I've actually had them foul on me.
fouled, yeah. You had to check the gas, the fuel, for water and contaminants.
That's more for show. That doesn't
okay.
actually get simulated.
I know you had to do a walk around, so that was
Yep.
kind of...
It's not as fun in the actual game. In real life, it's a lot more fun.
Okay, let's see where I got my maps. I see you down there at the other end. What are you in?
The Cub Crafter.
Ah, very good.
Freaking love this thing.
Oh, you're at night. Okay. So, I think.
Well, how do you know
I'm
it's
gonna-
night? Why did the time of day change?
Yeah. I just obviously I stayed. It doesn't matter. We can enjoy same trip. Let's see. I'm gonna take off. I think I'm gonna try to head towards the mainland and see what airport we can stumble on. Now that I can sort of land without dying.
Yeah.
It's always good. It's always a plus. The plane is in one piece.
Let's get. Oh, that's some dash. Screw it up. Take off. No rules here.
Yeah, and there's none. I'm about to lift off, so I'll get out of your way right now by turning off to the side. Runway's clear.
I think.
Yep. Just flew by you.
There we go.
Nice to be able to open the VFR map and you don't have any.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
I love
that
this Cub Crafter for such a small plane, a little tiny tail dragger. It's got all the bells and whistles of a modern day generally
Oh,
used
yeah.
aircraft.
Yeah, that's an expensive little plane in real life. It's got all the bells and whistles, but
Yeah.
but it's worth it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
The airports that you can get in and out of in that thing are
Oh, it's
unbelievable.
like unlimited.
Yep, unlimited, exactly. The only thing that's limiting you is the range of the aircraft. And like I said, there are people that carry those bladder tanks that they put in the back, like the back seats or the cargo area, and they literally have a feeder tube that goes to the tank, and when you're getting low, I watched, there's this, I don't know if he's Austrian or German, and he's in a twin engine of some kind. He flew from Hawaii to California. I mean, the guy's like 70 something years old, And that's how he did it. He literally had to carry like a copper wire antenna that he let fly outside the plane because he had to report in through VHF or UHF or something. And yeah, his videos are on YouTube. They're unbelievable. I'm like, you're flying from Hawaii in a very small plane, 2,300 something miles to Oakland. But the way he did it, he's in the back seat. He had one of these rubber gas tanks, and he had it all hooked up, and somewhere over the middle of the trip, about, I don't know, 1,200 miles in, he started feeding fuel, but he was alone. My God, you got nerves of steel.
That dude's almost the modern day Charles Lindbergh.
Exactly. I just got done. Actually, if you want to, I don't know if you read or do audiobooks or stuff. I do listen to audiobooks at night. Kind of helps me sleep. And I just got done listening to Flight about Charles Lindbergh. It was a great book.
Oh, nice.
It's really unbelievable
like
that.
Charles Lindbergh was amazing.
Oh, that with the way it's described when he finally leaves the North American coast, and you're thinking, wow, I've got how long in front of me? How many people have vanished trying to do the same trip? What's the weather going to be like? And man, it was a really, I mean, it's funny, you know he survives, obviously, but yet the entire time, you're like, as he's describing, as they're describing, you know, it's icing up, and it was really, really nerve-wracking, and I'm like, what are you nervous about? He lives. Same thing with, I don't know if you ever, did you see that? Oh, I'm trying to remember what the name is. It's Alex Honnold, Free Solo. Did you see this movie?
I think so.
It's he's a rock climber, famous rock climber, and he climbs El Capitan in Yellowstone. No rope, no lines, no nothing. One slip, you're dead. 3,000 feet. I watched the entire movie like I was gonna rip my fingers off. I was holding my breath. Joe Rogan was talking about it on his. He had him on, and he's like, he goes, dude, you're sitting in front of me. I knew you were coming on the show, and I watched that movie. Like at any moment you were gonna slip and die, and through the whole movie you were like, literally holding your breath, and the camera would back up to show his situation, and his fingers maybe a quarter of an inch jammed into a rock. Wow. His toe is holding him on the side of the mountain. So the Lindbergh flight was a little bit like that, that despite knowing that, you know, he makes it, it's full of suspense. Yeah, it was really nerve-wracking.
It's the thought of him falling that gets to you.
Well, the famous one is L'Oiseau Blanc, the two Frenchmen who were trying to, you know, achieve the same thing. They were just coming from Paris to New York. They were going the opposite direction. And they were really famous, and that plane disappeared and they were never heard from again. There was no wreckage, no nothing, and this happened just before he made his attempt. And so it's got to be daunting to think, I'm sitting in a wicker basket in a propeller plane. I got 30-something hours ahead of me, in the dark, across the Atlantic, by myself. If this thing stops, no one will ever find a trace of me. And I was like, whoa.
I could never do something like that.
Yeah, Those
guys are true pioneers.
For sure. For sure. It was, so if I can't remember who wrote that book, but it's called Flight. Story of Charles Lindbergh, I believe is the whole name. You'd enjoy it. It's really good. And then, of course, not to be morbid, but I think we're going to do an upcoming flight on our stream. I want to honor the Uruguayan flight, that famous one that crashed in the Andes, and they survived for 72 days. That's the longest survival that has ever happened in a plane crash. They literally crashed in the middle of the Andes. It's terrible what they had to do to survive. I may not necessarily go into what they had to do as the food ran out, but
oh boy.
yeah, it was terrible. It was absolutely unbelievable. The book is called Alive. They made a movie, but the book is far better. I think it's Piers Paul Reed who's the author, and the book is absolutely amazing. And I thought, you know, it would be a wonderful thing. Let's do that flight that they took, but let's succeed. Let's make it over the Andes. Let's land where they're supposed to land and kind of pay tribute to the sacrifices that they made. So I'm doing some pre-flight planning, trying to pick out some neat places in the world so we can do the flights, and people that want to fly along, of course, they're welcome, and it'll be always something interesting either to see or some historical perspective as to why we are flying where we're flying.
Yeah.
Yeah. These clouds are amazing, aren't they? I'm at 40,
know.
I'm 3,500 feet, and this cloud it just looks like if this little plane wasn't here and I was sitting in a cabin looking out, like in a jet, it just looks like it. Wow. I don't know how they did it. Remember them clouds we used to have in like 2004? Well, how far do you go back with the simulator? What was your first version?
My first version was 2004. I did play 2002, but nothing earlier than that.
Don't laugh, mine was Flight Simulator 95.
Oh, dude, I think that's awesome. Just to see like how far you see things come on.
It's insane. And it was my favorite. Piece of software, and when it went away in 2006 was the last one. I just never expected to see it again. Well, this is the whole point. This is how I actually came. It's weird to say meet you, but I've come to know you. Was your reaction? And literally, which I've confessed this to you before, but I haven't said it anywhere recorded. I never expected to see it again. It was like a companion, if you want to say.
Yeah.
You know, you come home from school or whatever, and you're playing the simulator. I was already grown by then, but I come home from work, I come home from, community college, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna fly somewhere. But when it went away, you never thought to see it again. So when they did that E3 event,
Oh, I know.
and I did what you did. Like, I'm like, well, what is this? When they showed the mountains, then you saw the clouds, and you're like, oh, what is this, Forza? When they started showing the plane.
Yeah.
Right? That look on your that look on your face when the jet pushes back.
Yep.
Your eyes are like eggs, and you're like, what the is this? And I literally, when you were like, I'm gonna cry. I was like, I had tears. This is so embarrassing. I had tears rolling down the face.
Cry. I was just kind of getting a little bit excited and everything. I wasn't gonna actually.
No, it was really touching, and the weird thing was, I was so shocked that it was Flight Simulator that when you had that reaction, I'm like, oh my god! I literally, my eyes teared over. I was like, I can't believe it's back. I can't. And your reaction was so exact and pure. Not, oh, I'm so, you know how some people do reactions and it's like,
oh, yeah,
it's kind of,
they just like overreact.
Yeah, like they've already done their reaction in real life, and now they're like, oh, I need to make a video of this, so they have to kind of act it out, and it's not the same.
Yeah.
And that's how you could tell when that jet pushed back, what the f is this?
Yeah, right there, I just immediately started assuming the best possible thing.
I couldn't believe it. When I saw it, I couldn't believe it. Because there's been many times I would do searches periodically over the years.
Same.
New Microsoft Flight Simulator, just to see if any link anywhere. Yep. And I remember when I first saw Flight, I never tried Flight, but by the time I would have had a computer that could run it, because confession time, I always had business computers. I never really had a proper gaming computer that could run FSX, and I refused to run it on low. So literally the first time I really could use Flight Simulator or FSX was literally last year. For just 13 years, I would periodically install it. I'd get a new PC or a newer PC, wouldn't run, put it back on the shelf. For 13 years, I couldn't use it. So I literally would use 2004, I wouldn't use anything. And I never expected to see it again.
I couldn't use FSX.
Yeah, I couldn't run it. The computer was like a slideshow. It was like postcards.
Oh, I know.
It's terrible. So, I mean, it looked great, but literally it was like 4 or 5.
I've seen PowerPoint presentations with higher frame. Let's just put it that way.
I said it's like postcards. You get postcards in the mail, but So yeah, I would do these searches on Google, hoping and praying that you'd see, oh, new simulator coming out, and just year after year after year of that and nothing. So I said, we're never going to see it again. And I don't know why I didn't really go to X-Plane. I think also X-Plane, I don't think my computer could have run it.
Yeah, I just didn't like the way things felt in it. The physics for me felt off.
I have kind of been loyal to, well, because it was the first simulator. And so I kind of have this weird loyalty thing that I get involved in, which is kind of dumb, but like what's happening with the yoke and the throttle and the pedals,
Right.
I kind of just want to stick to the same brand because the yoke is so good. So I'm like, I'm going to wait for the pedals. It's going to take, 8 months, 10 months to get it. But so same thing with Flight Simulator. I'm like, I'm not sure if I have to learn all new key codes, what's the physics like, what does it look like? I'm not familiar with the menus. So I just never really, I tried the demo. It ran not so great on my machine, and wasn't X-Plane's fault. I'd watch videos of Austin explaining things and doing the whiteboard, but I never really, I don't know, I just never did it. And I saw some people dabble in it, but I just never did. And then the moment that I saw that clip and your reaction, I'm like, this is going to be the first time, I don't care how much the computer costs, I am going to have one that will be above whatever they want. I'm going to have one that should be above the spec. So I saved money that whole year, and I got a relatively decent system. So no stutters and can run everything on Ultra. But it's the first time since like 2000, literally 20 years, that I had a PC that I didn't have to sit there and suffer with poor frame rates. All the ones in between that, time between it was, substandard. So it's exciting to have something that really runs. And what have you noticed with your performance with yours? How's it running for you?
Honestly, I never expected it to run as good as it is. I get actually above 30 frames per second. Now, granted, it does depend where I am, but when I first got the game, it ran good, but not as good as when they made a patch to actually increase my performance.
Okay.
So, but I was already in the recommended specs, or like right in between recommended and minimum, so I knew I was going to be good.
Good. I was guessing. I hadn't had an AMD PC for a long time, like literally way back FS98. I had built my own myself, and I had an AMD back then. I couldn't tell you what that chip was, but I started hearing about, the multi-core threading versus the single, and what they thought it would be, what they thought Flight Simulator was going to be better. Whether you had that one core that was really, really fast, like a 5 gig core, or would it be better to spread the load across, 8 or 12 cores. So I just got a 12 core AMD, and I was lucky enough to get a decent price on a RTX 2080 Ti, and they also ran a special on the memory. So I ended up getting 64 gig, but it's really not necessary. 32 is more than enough. I just did it because it was really a very low amount of money to get that little bit extra, and I thought, well, maybe it'll be future proof for a little while. And you can see we've already got a new card, the 3090. So,
oh my gosh,
nothing stands still. But for right now, I think, like in this kind of area, I'm getting maybe 54, something like that, 51, 54, and I think in New York it was 41, maybe.
Dude, that's insanely good.
I think it was 41, but I think it also depends on what aircraft, I would imagine
I think
if
the faster aircraft you're in, that actually decreases your performance because it's got to load more stuff in at a faster rate.
Yeah, that's what I suspected. So maybe I'm getting lucky because I'm not flying in those complicated aircraft. Wow, this is really nice out here. I can see why people would want to live out here. Might be a little inconvenient to get some goods and services, but man.
Can't deny the view.
No, for sure. I don't see any roads below us. I wonder if this is a park area. You notice I haven't seen roads for a little while. I haven't seen any dwellings. So let me look at the VFR map. What are we coming up on? Ah, that's the... Maybe this is Cape Hatteras? Have we passed Cape Hatteras? Is that point that... The outermost outer bank point, was that Cape Hatteras? Yeah, I think it is. So, yeah, we're south. Yeah, we're south. Forgive me for my geography's off a little bit today, but...
That's okay, mine's not getting it.
Mine's supposed to be for a kid that was obsessed with maps, but... You know, should be a little. I never flew. I never flew here before. I've been to North Carolina, but I've never been out east this far.
Oh yeah, neither have I.
So I wonder what's coming. Oh, we got several there. We have a lot to choose from. My problem is I don't know some of the names. You know, the ICAO codes. I don't necessarily know the, like this one, Kilo, India, Lima, Mike. That's the furthest one that's on my VFR map.
Yeah.
Maybe in South Carolina, I don't know. I don't know the name of it. It would be nice if they made the VFR map a little bit more, it'd be awesome if it was like Bing, where you could zoom in, and you really could see place names and things. That would help a little bit, because the world map, of course, when it goes gray, it can be a little bit of a challenge to try to figure out once it's gone gray, like when I'm doing the research for a route and I have the general area, like I did today in South America, it took me a while to figure out which one of those dots on that gray was the Mendoza airport. And I kind of had to shift the map around, whereas if it would have been, even if it would have been Bing without labels, I could tell by the waterways and the mountains roughly which one of those white specks would have been the right one, but because it turns gray, you don't even have topographical information, it makes it a little bit harder. So I'm hoping that someday that will also be an upgrade that we'll eventually see. If not, somebody will probably, you can always rely on somebody to mod the sim. Part of what makes our community really great is because we have a lot of talented people, and things like what I just mentioned, if there's something that needs to be done, it's almost like you can rely on somebody out there is going to be like, you know what, I could do that, and lo and behold, you get a new flight planner, you get a new aircraft that you've been begging for, somebody's putting in airports that are missing, and that's the one really cool thing. I didn't realize I just keep... Oh, no, I'm level now. Okay. I thought I kept climbing and climbing and climbing, but I had to try to save a little bit on fuel. Well, not really. Not pretty much. So yeah, on this VFR map, you'd be able to basically zoom in on these nav aids and airports, and maybe go below them or around them, and you literally you'd know what's around, what name it is, if you don't know the code for it. I never realized how long and straight and narrow
North Carolina islands are.
Yeah, I don't know. It really looks cool. It's like you're off in another, like a really far away part of the world, but yet the U.S. is just, the mainland's just right there, but it feels like you're somewhere.
I know, I don't feel like I'm in America right
now.
No,
not at all. Wow, it's really cool.
Man, I love flying this plane.
It's fun, isn't it?
Yeah, the tub tractor.
Yeah. Yeah, we did a lot of flights. We did a couple of episodes back. We did the Japan when that came out, and we used the X-Cub and flew around Japan. That was a lot of fun. Mount Fuji looked incredible. Have you checked it out yet, Japan?
Not yet, but I will have to at some point.
Yeah, Mount Fuji looks amazing. Ooh, I'm coming into a lot of clouds right about now. Wow.
Eventually, once I get the jets, I will actually do full-on jet flights. I will do that at some point.
Oh yeah. Yeah, as soon as they get up to the standard that you are used to, Oop, I'm in IMC
Yeah.
now. Ah, it's really different.
I can always use the citation. I'm not sure how good their range is for that, but I can look at it. There's one plane I would love to fly, but it just unfortunately flies terribly. Is the 787.
Yeah, I've heard it's a bit of a trial.
Yeah.
Oops. Wow, it's amazing how much you go off course. Just being in those clouds for 30 seconds. And I'm now on the bay side of the island chain, whereas before I was either right over it or a little bit on the Atlantic side. And I was only in the clouds for not even 30 seconds, 12 seconds. Wow. Imagine in real life. And I would avoid the clouds, obviously, in some of the other sims. I try to avoid them a little bit because, you know, you didn't have the systems. Now we have the glass cockpits with the
Oh, I know.
in a way, I wish the bush trips. I haven't done them. I'm going to, but I've watched a few videos and a few people said the same thing. They're like, it's really cool, but having the synthetic vision is almost like a little bit of a cheat to them. To me, but I don't help. But yeah, so they're trying to figure out a way to maybe mod the bush trips so that you can, if you have the deluxe edition, you can put in the 172 with steam gauges instead of the glass.
I mean,
Oh,
you
your
can put
cloud-
regular gauges on it. Oh, you gotta have the right version. That's right.
Yeah, it's I did get that deluxe version because I wanted the I was used to the Steam 172, so I was like, well, I'll have to get the deluxe premium because that's the one I was used to flying all the time. Because the one I could, if I was going to fly halfway decent, it was going to be in that. So I wasn't used to the glass cockpits. I just flew the old-fashioned. But I'm learning now, getting a little bit more used to it. There's a guy who flies, I don't know if you've seen him on YouTube. He flies a Kodiak, a Quest Kodiak. It's called the Missionary Pilot. He's in New Guinea. Have you seen him? Yeah, he's got an up-and-coming channel. Really got a lot of subscribers in the last like 6 months, and he does some amazing flying. But he has, you know, these systems, and he's kind of explaining to you. I think it's a G1000. It looks like it, and you know he'll zoom right in on it, and as he's doing his flights, he's explaining, you know, what these things do, how you can make certain information appear that you might need, and
Yeah.
he's very thorough. He's very enjoyable, and that's helping me get a little bit more familiar with the glass cockpits. Until somebody comes out, I have one of those books. I think a long time ago it was you, maybe it wasn't. I don't know. We were talking about what gear we had and what flight sim copies we had. I had, yeah, I did. I sent you a picture in Twitter. Remember, with all the layouts of the books and yeah, I had this book about 750 pages. It's for FSX. That really explains basically everything. So in a way, I can't wait for one of those to come out for this sim, because you can kind of use it as a reference manual as well. So when you're not flying, you
One thing I wish
can.
there was is there were reference manuals for a lot of planes because sometimes I don't know their landing speed or their
Right.
their VR when you rotate.
Yep. Oop, more clouds. I have to descend a little bit.
7,000 feet.
Yeah.
This thing is still flying good.
Yeah. Did you trim it?
Oh no, I don't even have to trim it. It's flying itself.
Yeah. At some point, if you, or I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said trim. Did you lean it? That's what I should have said.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
I-
definitely. Above your nose, you gotta lean to make sure you lose power.
Yeah, I sure did. In the Japan flight, I lost power, and at first I didn't know what was going on. I'm like, I'm losing power. What's going on? I can't keep up. And then I'm like, ah, you didn't lean. I think I was at like 7,000 or 8,000 feet. I forgot to lean, so. Bound and determined to follow this piece of land until it ends. All the way till I get to South Carolina, I think.
Before
But
you're gonna end up in Charleston.
yeah, man. Yeah, they got some barrier islands that go way down into. This is really cool. I love it. Isn't it? I always sound dumb on
Better
the.
looking clouds.
Yeah. Oh, your clouds look amazing. Wow. What are you on, scattered or live?
I'm using live. I think the weather is actually starting to work a little more properly now.
Huh. Let me go up and see what happens if I hit live. I don't think I have the clouds that you do. That's alright. Doesn't matter. I'm enjoying the view that I have anyway.
Well, I think you're a lot further away from me, I think is why.
A little bit. I'm only a little bit ahead. Looking at this, the way the water is changing color, really cool. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see the masking, but doing that water masking as an effect. That'll be in one of the future updates. So that'll be, the water will be transparent at the shores, and you'll be able to see down.
Oh, that looks so cool.
Yep. Yep. They're doing that, especially for the, you know, like Bahamas, the area where the, I mean, they're gonna do it everywhere, but I think that's part of the reason why they want some of the effects of the, these tropical areas and these really beautiful blue water areas that you can see down through it. And
yeah, like that turquoise water.
yeah, exactly.
Now,
It's interesting. Some of the satellite imagery here has caught the waves rolling onto
Right,
the shore
it did.
when the picture was taken, so it kind of gives you a little bit of a, for a split second, it gives you that idea like, oh, waves. I missed them though.
I haven't noticed any waves yet, but granted, I haven't
No.
seen any high winds.
There aren't really. You'd have to go. Yeah, you have to. What I'm hoping as well is they mentioned it, but I don't know when or if it'll be implemented. Is that the tide is obviously affected by the lunar cycle and that kind of stuff, so you can have, you know, bigger waves without having to have 40 knots of wind. So I'm hoping that we can get a little bit of tidal effects, so we can have a little bit more wave action.
Oh, that'd be
Without
so
having
cool.
to have winds that are going to blow you, you know, straight down to the ground.
Speaking
Or
of winds blowing you, they got to get gliders in this soon.
yeah, we had a guy last night saying the same thing. He loves to use those, and he's like, "Oh, I'm hoping they have the thermals in here." And there are, I will say one, there's a freeware again. I don't know, I haven't tried it. They do have 3, I think, gliders. It's at one of these websites, like it's either MSFS add-ons or MFS add-ons, that website, and then the flightsimulator.to. One of the two of them. There's also another one called Nexus as well.
Nexus.
One of those sites, yeah, it has the gliders, German gliders.
Oh,
So
okay. Oh,
I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if they're modeled accurately, if they're using, if the physics in this sim is modeled precisely.
yeah, I'm sure there's thermals in this game.
Yeah.
They gotta be.
Yeah, because when you fly close to the mountains, you get the
Okay.
turbulence. So I wonder if it's
That's
enough
something
to.
that glider pilots use to their advantage.
Yeah.
That'd be a license I think I'd like to get.
Oof.
Because I'm actually gonna, I pretty much just decided recently, like a few weeks ago, about what I want my career to be. And believe it or not, for the longest time, it was never aviation. It was gonna probably be the gaming industry. But you know, I had to keep pushing myself to want to make games, and I just didn't like doing it. And one thing that I hate doing with a passion is coding. I freaking despise it. I'm fascinated by it, but I honestly think I'd rather rip my eyeballs out than learn it. So eventually I just made the decision, you know what, I'm going to see what kind of general aviation careers there are, and I think I found the one I want to do, and that's be a flight instructor.
Nice.
So I'm going to begin my very grueling process with the FAA, and try to get special issuance with them, which means they, you know, let me fly, but I got to be checked down a little more.
How many hours did you do in your PPL? I remember hearing the story you were telling about.
Well, I wasn't going for PPL because the FAA wouldn't medically certify me.
Okay.
So I wasn't even able to get my solo, but I just went and got the experience. I maybe put about 20 hours total flying time from flying mostly a Piper Cherokee PA-128 or PA-28. I mostly I got a good feel for how the plane flew and everything, but obviously I would need to get back in it to really get a hang of it. I'm not going to really retain those skills again. I already know, remember exactly what to do, but with this simulator, that can kind of help me.
True, for sure.
This is the most accurate physics we've ever had, so. But
Yeah, that's true.
hopefully I get this thing settled with the FAA this year, and I'll just try to go for my PPL. Then I'll have to get an instrument rating, which that I hear is really tough.
Yep.
Because I did a little bit of instrument flying with my instructor, and I was not that much of a fan of it because I couldn't look outside. I had to wear those stupid goggles. I hate them.
Yeah,
So,
that'd be really stressful.
But you gotta have to be a flight instructor, and then I would have to go for my commercial rating, which at that point I'll probably just go for my twin engine rating. Because I think you have an option or something like that, so I'll just do the twin engine, like my flight instructor did. He has a twin engine rating, so I'll do that. Oh, we got someone from Malaysia here. Holy cow! Just people from all over the world
Nice.
coming. I love this. So many people from all over the world watching the stream.
It's cool. It's a lot of fun. I know. I'm nervous every Thursday when we do ours, and I'm like, but by the time you start, it's like, what are you nervous about? It's like everybody's friendly and doing fun stuff, and it's nothing to be nervous about. It's a lot of fun, and
It's all
the more I
about
do,
flying ships.
yeah, exactly. And it's this. I'm in a 152 Aerobat, and it's really stable, so that's also nice. It's a couple of the aircraft in the beginning, I was having to struggle a little bit. I had to hand fly the entire time, and it's hard to trim out a little bit, and so it was a little bit more tense. And you're thinking, wow, if I'm going to be doing this publicly, looking like I can't control the plane, I'm not going to feel great about it. But here we are, 2 months in, and now some of the aircraft I can understand them now. Like you said about the physics, it's a bit of a double-edged sword, because we have an air mass that's being simulated, as I mentioned a few times, that has never been simulated in any other simulator. So there's a lot of years that people have been flying flight sim, either being told or thinking, yeah, dude, this one is more real than that one, and so then when they come to this one, they're like, this feels weird, it feels wrong, there's something not right about it. There's a couple of things. First of all, the sensitivity, they have to work on it. There are some bugs.
Mainly the letters.
Yeah, there's bugs with the dynamics, but once they get the air mass perfected and the bugs worked out, what we're going to end up with is like nothing we've flown before. It's never going to feel like FSX, where it's just kind of level all the time, almost like you're riding on a train.
You call it on rails.
Right. So even the other titles that are competition, we have over the past a lot of people saying, oh, you're flying that one, and that one's a joke. The one I'm flying is, pretty much the real deal. And I'm like, once we found out that nobody was simulating air mass until now, in the manner that they're doing it to this degree, you're thinking, well, dude, you've been flying for 15 years, and it's not real either. So for one thing, coming to this with its bugs and with its dynamics that are off, it's going to feel weird. But the air mass and some of the weather effects, it's going to feel weird because they've never been done before. So like I said, once that gets perfected, I don't think we're ever going to have a simulator like the ones that we're used to. So I think it's going to feel weird to a lot of people for a while. And the only thing that's going to convince them is when we hear from pilots who are like, yeah, it does feel pretty accurate. Then, despite it feeling weird to us, we're going to have to say, you know what, I have to give in. I'm not a pilot, and I'm hearing from pilots that now these physics and these dynamics are pretty accurate, so I have to default to their better judgment. So I think somewhere down the road, as the Zobo works things out, that flight model will get fixed, but the fixed flight model is still going to feel weird because we're not used to these added dimensions, which is a good thing in the end.
Yeah, because it's going to create more pilots.
Yeah, it's going to inspire more. I think part of the reason why they've given so much attention to GA, as I said, is because of the beauty of the world. It's going to inspire people to become pilots.
Oh no
Look
question.
at
I know this game is going to revolutionize the aviation industry.
look what has happened to the peripherals. Have you noted or have you read any stories
Yep,
that
that
you
peripherals
try to
have
go
gone
find-
up in
yeah, you
hardware
can find
sales.
them. You can't find them anywhere.
Nope.
And that is a testament directly to the release of this sim. Now, granted, some people are like, again, they have an issue with a system or a dynamic that is not quite the way that they want it to be, and yet money's still being spent. People are they're sticking by it. So I think we're going to see new pilots come out of this, and I think that is a commendable. That's a commendable thing because we need them.
We do, because
You know?
there's a big pilot shortage going on.
Yes.
And
And if you-
honestly, I think one of the things that's going to have to happen, and I think the FAA should take note of this, they need to lighten up on people wanting to become general aviation pilots. When it comes to airlines, yeah, I can see why they have to be that strict to an extent, but general aviation, it's absolutely ridiculous what they require from you.
You know, I kind of agree, but then in another way, because I watch a lot of accident investigation and things like that, and what I kind of wish they would do, and this is going to be a big faux pas to a lot of people, I kind of wish they would make it a requirement that you eventually had to get your IFR, because too many pilots, the number one killer of GA pilots is flying from VFR into IMC, and they're losing their they're suffering from spatial
Yeah.
disorientation, and they're killing themselves, they're killing their families. We're having 4 accidents a day, I think 4 fatal accidents a day in I don't know if it's the world or if it's in the US, in GA. And so in a way I'm like, I kind of wish that maybe not right away, and maybe you can get your VFR, and they're very strict with the VFR, so that you don't end up getting yourself into these situations. I don't know how they could police that, and you don't want a ton of regulation, but you want people to survive, you want them to thrive.
I understand where they're
do
coming
well.
from in certain aspects. For me,
Yeah.
it's just, you know,
It's
I kinda
really
just
hard,
like to get, you know,
so-
too personal with myself. It's just when it comes to medical certification is where the FAA, I think, goes a little overboard with general aviation
I
pilots.
see. Yeah, I couldn't get mine now because my eyesight's not good enough. I would imagine I wouldn't pass it.
That's not
Got a
true.
little, got a little bit of blood sugar issues, and back in the day, if you had diabetes, they just wouldn't forget it. They would let
That's actually not true either. I think there are
not
pilots
true anymore.
who
Yeah,
do-
now I think it's different, but I'm a little bit older now, so I don't know that I want to start that now. It's a little bit past my. I have a bad habit of looking around and enjoying the view, and it's part of the reason why I didn't go forward. I said, you know what, dude, you're gonna get yourself killed because you're spending so much time looking around. You're not paying attention. Back when I was young and dumb and
Yeah.
spend all my time gawking out the window. It's like you might do yourself some good by checking out your instruments once in a while and looking for other planes instead of looking at the water and the mountains. And so I can fly here and not kill myself or kill anybody else.
But yeah.
And to know that it kind of looks right, that's exciting. To look down and think, if I looked at this on Bing Maps, it pretty much looks like what we're flying over. Like for where I live, I literally flew over my apartment, and I mean the pool is where the pool should be. The roof is the right color. There are trees in the courtyard. Like I cannot believe it. Yeah, when you get down to 100 feet, it looks like the apocalypse. It's globby and blocky. And
Or just
you're
looks
not
like
meant-
2020.
What's that?
Or just looks like just this year in general.
Yeah, exactly. So if you just fly it, even at 500 feet, it was amazing. I could see the dog walking businesses on the corner, the Russian markets right by me, and I'm like, you literally could see them. I was like, I don't believe this. CVS is on the corner, and I'm like,
Wow.
you could recognize that it was brick. I could recognize the red lettering on the front. I'm like, this is beyond belief. So as Black Shark will also be upgrading their services over time, those building types, and I think for lack of a better term, textures, or however you want to term them, that they're going to be applying to the exteriors, they're going to get better and better. I mean, I keep saying it without meaning that people should shut up and just wait, but imagine 2 or 3 years from now.
Oh, I know.
because, you know, when Sims come out in the beginning, they're all like this. And
Yeah.
FSS is Microsoft is an old name, but the problem is it's such a long gap between the last iteration of this. It is as if it's coming brand new to the scene. So X-Plane, when it came out, P3D, they all had issues, and it took time to work the bugs out. And I think give it a year and a half, it's going to be an amazing simulator. If it's already at this level, once we get the IFR
I'm
people,
already amazed by it. I don't know how much more they could amaze me.
I think just that the closer you get to the ground, they'll sharpen some of that up, and I think get the dynamics fixed, and it's game, set, and match for them if they can do that. Slowly, incrementally, keep the world updated. You know, Bing has some outdated imagery, but they'd already said they'd done, well, look, they did all of Japan. There's still a few issues with roads and things like that, but they did something like 80,000 square kilometers like in 2 weeks before the release. So Bing is constantly updating. Even RandomEd is updating. But because they did Japan, it shows you they can do targeted, you know, more targeted kind of attention. So over time, it's gonna be amazing. I can't wait. Wow. The reflections in the cockpit look incredible too.
Oh, I know. I can't believe it actually reflects off the freaking GPS.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at the way the sun now have turned a little bit, and the sun's coming in, and it's casting the wings are casting shadows on my instruments, and it's like, it just looks so real. And I find myself, even though you're not supposed to, I find myself flying a lot in the external view just because the view is so great.
Oh, I know. I freaking love the drone camera. Like, I've been having so much fun using it with making my Flying Across America series. I love playing around with it.
I need to get a controller. I haven't messed with it for that reason. Heard it's a little challenging to deal with on the keyboard, but if you have a controller, it's really easy. So I'm gonna invest in one of those and mess around with it.
Yeah.
Where am I on this map? Oh, there we are. Oh, so we kind of took a hook there. I was wondering what direction we were going. Again, I'm not paying attention to the header. See, I'm not a good pilot. I'm too busy looking around, having a good time. I'm like, wait a minute. We've turned back northeast.
We're in a simulator.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You can go anywhere you want here. Back in the clouds again. Are you in the clouds? Nope.
I'm descending. I'm gonna go in at NC12.
Where is this? Let me see. Oh, I see it. Okay, so let me stop climbing. I'm at 3,200 feet. So let's stay there until we get close. Is this an airport right here? Oh no, sorry. Sometimes you see stuff and you think, is that an airport? But
yeah, I know, and you can see them from pretty high up.
That's what I like. Used to have a hell of a time finding the runways in FSX. God, it was hard.
Oh, I know,
And
you had to pop in.
And part of my problem too is I was always too low. There'd be ahead of me and I descend too low thinking, oh, I gotta slow down, I gotta slow down, I gotta slow down. But I'm losing altitude to the point I'm 500 feet AGL, but I'm 3 nautical miles away. So the trees are getting in the way and I'm like, terrible pilot. I haven't done that as much in this, so that's been a pleasure to kind of, you know, learn that lesson. It does. I'm a little bit slower than you guys. I'm going, what, 100 and... Well, I'm doing the cruising speed, 107. So... Well, won't be too much further behind you. That'd be another nice thing, is if it would show on the VFR if you guys are flying in a... At least, maybe it doesn't in a group, I don't know. It'd be nice to see your fellow buddies on the map, you know, where their aircraft are in relation to where you are on the map.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of... Just in case you weren't within visual distance or condition. Let me cross this water. You know what they've done really well in this?
What's that?
The perspective of the horizon and the way that the land looks, the drawing distance and the perspective at the horizon, the way the land is, it's really fantastic. You know, the land is, it's hard to describe exactly what I mean. Like when I was in Alaska, you'd have a body of water, and then in the distance you'd have a strip of land that was flatter, and then there might be 3 consecutive mountain ranges further and further and further west that actually were also getting higher. But the way that it's displayed in Flight Simulator, it reflects that kind of gradient between the 3 ranges and the distance from your position across the flat plane, so that the way that they blend together with the horizon, it just looks real. Like the way I'm coming across this water, it's reminding me of the flight in Alaska, because that one part was very flat.
Right.
And it's a wide bay of water, and the way the land is off to the left here, it's just reminding me of that flight. I'm like, this really looks convincing. I'm quite a bit behind you though, maybe a couple miles. But from my vantage point, it looks really good. Yeah, I'm probably your 6.5 o'clock, so to speak. Like 240 heading behind you. Well, no, actually, I'm heading 31 degrees. You're not. You're probably heading what? Due north? What's your heading?
I'm 262.
Okay, no. Yeah, I got all twisted around here. Hold on. I'm going to turn more towards your heading.
Yeah, I think I'm probably gonna get
Yeah.
off, and I'm starting to get real tired.
Me too. I was thinking the same thing. Oh, I'm getting tired.
Yeah. Tiredness and flying don't go very well in hand.
No, they do not.
I don't know how Charles Lindbergh stayed up for that long.
I did, and I listened to the book. Same thing with Amelia Earhart. There was one point when she did her solo across the Atlantic that she was maybe 20 feet above the waves when she realized, because of the weather and the icing, and she was tired.
Wow.
And she was 20 feet above the waves before she pulled up and managed to get altitude to, I was like, my God, dude, that's literally, that's
Wow.
one small gust of wind that would have shoved her into the North Atlantic.
Jeez. I still wonder whatever happened to her. That sucks.
Man, I do too. Read a bunch of books on her too. It's heartbreaking.
She was fascinating.
She was.
A true badass.
Yep, guts. She had guts. In an era where, you know, they're basically being told women have no business being in a cockpit, and she's like, okay, I may not be the best pilot in the world, but I have the nerve and enough skill that I can.
Yep.
Matter of fact, do you know she's the first pilot to fly from Hawaii to mainland USA, male or female?
I actually didn't know that.
Yep, the flight from Hawaii to Oakland, she's the first person to do it solo.
Nice.
Yep.
You sure showed
And
those
what-
guys.
And we're talking, what, 1935, or this is a time when, no autopilot, no, you know,
Wow.
really just flying with hope and a map and a glass and a bottle of water.
Yep, and hopefully lots of coffee.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and who knows how far the coffee would have gone. Yeah, you know, they didn't have Red Bull back then.
Hopefully she had a big thermos of coffee.
Oh, yeah.
But again, it was a single engine prop plane flying from Hawaii to Oakland. You're thinking, God, if that has one hiccup,
It's
even
bad.
30 miles out, let alone 2,200 miles out, it's just, oof. It's a kind of a nerve that I'd like to pretend that I had, but not sure that I could ever muster. So, she's fascinating. We shouldn't be too far, right? I can't see a marker yet. I'm a bit behind you guys, but
I'm still looking for the airport. It's actually a lot further out than I thought it was going to be.
yeah, it's up that inlet a little bit more than, yeah, I can see what you mean. Let me see if I can kind of cut over. Get a little more direct behind you so I won't end up being so long back. I'm in a slower plane though, so.
Oh, mine's not much faster, so.
What are you at? How many knots?
I'm only at 110 knots.
Oh yeah, that's where I am too now. Wow, this 152 is so easy to control.
I know.
You trim, it kind of trims properly. It's like, wow. Well, I say properly as if I know. You're able to trim it without crazy input, so
Oh, I know.
I'm
It flies
hoping that's
beautifully.
realistic. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I was beginning to despair a little bit that I had this decent computer and I had, for the first time, a decent peripheral, and I could not control the planes in the beginning because the sensitivity was way off the very first week when it came out, and I just couldn't control the planes. I couldn't trim them. It was hard to keep. You couldn't do straight and level at all.
Oh,
So
no.
it was just, and I thought maybe it's just because I'm really exceptionally terrible. Now that we're, wow, you thought you were bad before. Look at you now, but it's.
I had that fear of coming to this simulator. I'm like, it's gonna be so much more realistic. Oh, I'm probably gonna suck at it. Not really. I'm doing okay.
No, I watched you the other night, and I was like, the way you were going through those checklists, like, just, you weren't reading them. It's like you were doing them and then checking them off, but you were doing them like from your own head. And I was like, dude, you are nowhere near this competent. There's another guy on YouTube. His name is William. I think it's WLJ is his channel. And he just has this smooth, calm, concise delivery of he flies a Caravan a lot. He does a lot of flights in Alaska. And I think he's doing FS economy now. But just the way that he goes through the startup and casually is explaining what he's doing in such a way that you're getting the information, but you're not being beaten over the head with it. And it just flows so naturally that I just envy that kind of ease of knowledge. And you kind of had that when you were doing the 172 the other day, and I was like, wow, that shows, I said to myself, that shows you how far off you are, because that was a smooth, calm, knowledgeable delivery, and I was like, I hope I can get there.
You can't. It's just all I can say is just constant practice and dedication.
Yeah. Finally rounded the bend there to get in the inlet, so I'm not terribly far behind you. Keep myself.
Wow, that's actually quite a strip.
I have a stupid question. I'm assuming that the symbol that is on the VFR map, the direction of the white line is the orientation of the runway, correct?
Look there.
If you look on your VFR, is that?
Yes. Yeah, I believe so. Yeah. No, I won't lie. It's not a stupid question. Yeah, sometimes I get confused by that too.
How many times in FSX I did not approach, I didn't know what angle, I didn't know what heading the runway was. So I'm like, and invariably I always approached it from the wrong angle and too low.
You know how to tell which way the runway is? It's actually quite surprising.
Yeah, the heading on the compass.
Nope. You just read out what the runway number is. If it's runway 23, the heading is 230.
Yeah, and I wouldn't know. Half the time I wouldn't know, because remember I told you I would just start flying. I'd use a map, a literal physical paper, a book, open the atlas, and just fly somewhere and say, I'm going to land when I see some red and green lights. Remember the lights that kind of flash at you a little bit? But I would never be lined up right. Never. But yeah, that's nice. So I will be able to. Oh, you're landed now, right?
Yep, I'm heading right now.
Yeah, I'm a bit away. You don't have to wait for me. I'm about 5 or 7 minutes out. Wow, the pressure of having to perform in front of the famous
No, it's not.
The famous one.
I wouldn't say I'm famous.
Oh, you deserve to be famous for that reaction. And I tried to make it happen. I went on Twitter and I shared that thing like
Oh, I appreciate that.
4 or 5 times. I don't have a lot of followers, maybe 3,000 or something like that, but
On
I
Twitter?
shared it.
That's
Yeah.
more than I have. Way
I think
more
it's
than
because I did a lot of soccer stuff, football, European football,
Gotcha.
running my mouth, and the team that I've supported over the years has a huge fan base. So I have an infinitesimal amount of followers from them. But then when, of course, Flight Simulator announced, I was so excited. I started, sharing pictures and the reactions, and there's a few people that commented about loving your reaction. So I was like, good, if I can help. How many? You're up to like many thousands of views on that thing, right?
Maybe 53,000. I think it's the
Oh, I
last
thought
I checked.
Oh, I thought it was even more than that. I don't know. It was a lot.
53 is still monumental to me. I never.
Oh, you
expected that
said
to
53. Yes, 53. I was thinking something like that. Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, because you had subscribers, but you were working on getting more, and then I hope that that video and people sharing it, you related to some subscription numbers increasing.
happen. Oh, yeah. I was feeling that for an entire year.
Yeah, and the comments were nice. I was reading
know,
all the
that's what I
comments
loved.
as well.
It was really heartwarming to see all that.
Yeah. Yeah, but it is the reaction, especially for people who really, really loved it, and it was gone so long and you never had any hope of it coming back. I mean, it's one thing if you're relatively new to it, but if you've been around since like FS95, some people have been around since the very first version.
Oh yeah.
So when it went away, it was like, I said before, it's almost like a friend died or a friend moved away. You're like, man, I used to really look forward to this, and I'm never going to see it again. And so when that returned, it was like Christmas. That's exactly what it was like, being a little kid, and it was Christmas. And I haven't felt that for.
A beautiful Christmas morning.
Yep, exactly. You run downstairs and there's the bike.
Yeah.
Desperate to have the bike, and there it is with the ribbon, and yeah, it was exactly like
this
that.
time it's
Matter of fact, that's what it reminded me of. I was 10 years old. My grandparents got me a bike. I didn't know it. We had a basement, and of course there was no bike under the tree, and I'm like, oh, I guess I didn't get one. And then for some reason she said, oh, I left the light on in the basement. And I said, there's no light on in the basement. She goes, well, turn it on and turn it off. Maybe it burned. Maybe the light bulb burned out. When I flicked it on, there was the light. I was like, oh, God. That was literally, that's the first thing I remembered. When you did that, when you jumped up and down in the chair, I said, that's me looking down the stairs at 10 years old at that bike. That's me. So that's part of the reason why it was so special. It reminded me of something I hadn't thought of in decades. So it was a great
I'm glad I
thing.
could unlock a memory like that for you.
I don't know where it came from because I haven't thought about it for ages, but yeah, that was a very tough. Is that the? Oh, you know what? I didn't realize that's the runway, so I better.
No, it's okay.
Begin to-
The runway came up pretty sudden to me too.
Yeah, I gotta slow down. I'm going 110, so it's not gonna work here. So I need to begin to descend.
Yeah, I'd
You
say
know what?
if I had an experience similar to you getting a bike, I would say my equivalent would actually be me getting a PS2.
Okay.
Yep.
Right.
What's that?
Something that you really, really wanted, that when your eyes fell upon it, you were like,
Yeah.
I don't believe it, I got it.
The
Yeah,
thing
it's
is, I
great.
didn't even ask for it because for the longest time, my parents just would not get me a video game console, even though they let me play on the computer and gave me a Game Boy. But they said no TV, home console, period. And I would always ask for an N64. I wanted one terribly. Then it was actually on my birthday. It wasn't on Christmas, but it was on my 11th birthday. And usually I'm used to getting a ton of presents. This time there was a very select few, and I was a little concerned, like, what's going on? And I open up the box, and it says PS2 on it, and I was like in disbelief at first. I'm like, no, there's no way my parents got me a PlayStation 2. So I looked at them. I asked them if my mother, she got me a PS2, and I literally screamed to the top of my lungs. And my first game that I got, my two first games were Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and Theme Park Roller Coaster.
Oh, I love that one. I love Roller Coaster Tycoon. That was another one. I was sad when, I mean, they had Roller Coaster Tycoon 3, but I love the old isometric ones.
Oh,
and,
dude, I played those like they were freaking crack when I was a kid.
Yep, couldn't stop. Well, I'm a little. See, I did one of my oh, you're too low again.
It's all good. I don't know if you knew this either, but when you're you won't get it right away, but when you're on approach, when you're using your throttle and your yoke, you're actually using them in opposite ways. You're using the yoke for your speed, and then the throttle for your glide slow.
Yeah, and I tend to mess that part up a little bit.
It is really tough, especially when you're doing it in real life. It's very difficult.
Oh, here we are.
You got this.
I might float a little bit. Yeah. Wasn't terrible.
No, you look like you landed really smoothly.
Yeah, I'm surprised. The rudder, as you can see, that's one click of the rudder took me all the way from the left to the middle with one click. So it's a little bit harsh. Let me see if I can get over here.
Yeah, but that looked like a pretty buttery landing from my view.
Oh, I did a real sharp yank over here to this taxiway to come back up to you. Oh, it's fun. And I've never been here, so this is a...
Yeah, this was fun to explore.
It really was.
I didn't expect we would go out this far, but we did.
I didn't either. I'm like, wow, how many hours have we been doing this? This is cool.
Yeah, but we'll do the same thing when I'm in Charleston. I'm going to try to do that for every state I visit. I'm going to try to fly around with you guys and explore new areas.
Sure, I'll try to join if I'm not working or I've got the time. I'll
absolutely
inflict my special piloting skills on the. Yeah, I'm almost there. Trying not to taxi too fast, taxi too slow. Can't wait for that throttle. That's the every single time I land, it's the thing that goes through my head. Imagine being able to just feel where you are with the throttle. You don't have to change your view to look down in the cockpit and take your eyes off of everything. You can just know because you can feel it. You have that tactile input that'll let you know that you've. See, did I slow down too much? No, maybe not. Yeah, pulling. Don't want to hit the. We don't want to hit the pushback guy, but it might be a little close here.
Oh, you have a pushback guy. I actually don't see him on my screen.
Yep. There we go. I think I stopped. Put the parking brakes so we know at least we live. Now, I have a question.
Yeah, sure.
Sometimes I do not get the logbook to pop up at the end. Tell me in what order do I begin to shut down? What is the first thing you shut down? Is it the strobe and the nav light?
Yeah, I don't know if there's a specific thing you have to do, but I can tell you how it's done in real life. You shut off all electrical equipment first, so shut off all your lights first. Then you shut off your radio master. Then you pull the mixture back and let the engine shut off. Then you turn off your magnetos. Then you turn off the master switch.
Okay, I did it, but yeah, sometimes the logbook just doesn't pop up. It didn't pop up, but
yeah, it seems to be kind of random.
Okay, so it isn't just me.
Yeah, I don't get it every time.
Cool, but it does log it because when I exit out and I go and look, it's there. So, well, that was fun.
It was. I had a great time.
Thank you for inviting me. It was a lot of fun.
Hey, no problem. I'm glad I was able to fly with you guys today. And I'll be sure to let you guys know way more in advance because I definitely saw a huge difference in viewership tonight compared to the last time.
Great.
So.
I'm glad.
Well.
Yeah, and I can verify I flew for an hour and 54 minutes
Nice.
tonight. So it did show in the logbook, so good deal.
Yeah, great flying with you, man. Hope to do it again soon.
Same here. Talk to you later.
You got it. Peace.
Ciao. Peace.
Woo. Now that is what I call a good day of flying, guys. So that's going to do it for tonight. I am super, super tired, and I need to relax in that bed there. My pilot eyes are getting kind of weary. So yeah, the next flight is going to be to Charleston, like I mentioned throughout the stream. So I'll be flying there next. I should be doing the flight tomorrow, so if I do it tomorrow, I'd say expect a video sometime next week around that point. So Charleston will be the next one, and after that, somewhere in Florida. I haven't decided where yet because I don't like my flights going too long. But I also got to make sure that the weather's good for tomorrow because I do everything like it's live. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching the stream tonight. I really appreciate it. Looks like we had a lot of people come in and fly around today. It was a lot of fun. And I hope to catch you all soon, very soon. I got to work on my outros, I really do. So anyway, guys, that's going to do it. I'll catch y'all later. Peace out and happy flying.